We are live. Good day, good morning. Welcome to Extreme presenting Mando Mornings with me, Xevious, and my two special guests. We have Buddy the Dinosaur. How are you, dude?
I'm good. I'm awake. So
Another day above ground, right?
yeah.
And
Well,
Michael,
Go ahead. Sorry.
that's good. And Michael from High Desert Comics. Thank you for being here, man.
Hey, no problem. I'm enjoying doing this with you guys. It's great.
Yeah, we've got it's been a good vibe. We've done maybe 3 or 4 of these. I like it a lot. Okay, let's jump into it. We all just watched the season finale, season 2 of The Mandalorian. We haven't really pre-chatted this too much. I don't know what you guys' overall take and score necessarily is. I want to go around here and I want to give it a score first, and then let's break that down. I think that'd be fun.
Okay.
Hot seat. Mike Cole, what do you say?
I say number 1, Howdy Tombstone. Number 2, 8.5. I thought it was a good episode, not as good as last week's, but just barely. It was still good.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. I'm going to give this a 9.5 to 10. I was thrilled. I was thrilled for the entire time.
You're going up.
Oh yeah.
We should have like the brings out the little kid in me scale.
Okay,
Right.
that would be a 10.5 right there. That's
Dude, I was grabbing when. Oh, and by the way, anyone listening, happy to have you here. This is going to be a spoiler show. When Grogu reached his hand out and touched Mando's face, and then his eyes welled up, I was going for Kleenexes. It got me where it's supposed to, and that's what I want from Star Wars. And I just saw Tombstone. You're right, man. Yes, Luke and R2, and they're looking down with Baby Yoda. Oh, wow.
And R2 and Baby Yoda were talking.
Hmm? Yeah. Nice. So yeah, every button pushed. Loved it. It's the Star Wars I want, whether it's right or wrong. How about you, buddy?
I'm gonna go like 2 separate scores here.
Okay.
Okay. The first 25 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
I give like a 6
Okay.
because I'm a writer and the dialogue hurt me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The last 20 minutes, or I'd say the last like 15 minutes, I give like an 8.
Nice. Yep. I think we're all pretty similar there. It's yeah, we can break it down. We can nitpick some of the writing stuff we want to. There's some dialogue which just did not bother me because we do this every show. I'm here for the visual and for the big feels, and you like to get technical. And I guess, Michael, you come up somewhere in between, right?
a little bit in between. Yeah, I like some visual technicals that I look at and go,
I was sitting here with forgive me, I've got a cold, so I'm not on camera, and my usual co-host D is just crashed out. She moved moved houses today, so she's done. But
Yeah, she couldn't even make it through the show. She was really tired.
no, she missed it by a
he's
second.
right out, huh?
Oh yeah.
She
yeah.
missed the reveal
Mhm.
by like 40 seconds. And he went to try to wake her up to see it, and she wouldn't even move.
I yelled into the bedroom. I'm like, wow, it's like, hang on, it's a Jedi. I think it's Luke. And she's just like, beat it. So it wasn't her exact words, but that
She
was
said,
just
fuck off.
That's the aura you felt from that. Yeah.
fuck out of here. Yes. Meanwhile, like Buddy's like, well, that was an interesting line. And I'm like, I own that Lego set.
Yeah.
He's like,
No, when we watch a movie together. It's D said it. Why? She's like, why is everything phallic?
mhm.
And I'm like, I don't know. And then like the dialogue is all it's like semi-sexual. She's like, this is the penetration zone. I'm like, why are they? What is this?
It's true.
I grew up around football, so there's a lot of that kind of talk.
Yeah. I know, for me, sometimes, when your head gets into space, I don't know why Dee would be thinking about phalluses. That's her business. Meanwhile, me, I was at Walmart like maybe 2.5 hours ago, looking at Lego Star Wars as one does this time of year. So there were 2 ships that came in when the oh my god, the Slave One in this thing, unreal, how well they utilized it, and then it comes down. As Buddy said, it ironed out the planet as it did its landing on the base.
Mhm.
And there was something very similar to the I know it's obscure, Michael. You probably know the V-19 Torrent was the blue and white scissor wing ship from the Clone Wars.
Yep.
And they had something really, really similar to that.
Oh, you're talking about on the planet?
Yep.
Okay, on the
Yep.
planet, that was a Mandal Motors ship that was featured in Rebels and Clone Wars as being flown by Mandalorian Super Commandos, including Bo-Katan. It also appeared in the Star Wars Galaxies MMO back in the day. It was like a mid-range hut ship that they commissioned from the Mandalorians for their little Syndicate forces.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Comparable to an X-Wing in stats.
Okay, awesome. And then
General, what's up?
General, again, Belondres. And hey, he cried? Nice. Good. If you're just joining us, I cried too. Twice. So,
They were manly tears, though. Tombstone can attest.
No. They were.
As a Tombstone, he said, "Man, tears for real, man."
Yeah. Is it big burly tears? I'll tell you that. So, Buddy, you said something right before we went on that I thought was interesting. If you want to get into it now, that this is the Star Wars we wanted.
Yeah, well, they're basically giving people, in my opinion, like in a lot of these scenes and a lot of what's going on, they're giving people what they wanted in the movies. We wanted to see Luke in his prime. We wanted to see Luke. We had seen Luke struggle and just barely become the hero he was supposed to be. We wanted to see him as that hero, not a washed up vagabond on a derelict planet.
That's right. Yeah. That is exactly why I can overlook. Like, I mean, I'm really, really different than you are with that sort of stuff. Where if a phrase is awkward or if there's exposition that's not required, it's like, and then I get spaceship. I'm like, I'm fine.
You're like, I'm fine.
Yeah, it's like, okay, yep. But oh my god, like when you have all these things that we've all wanted to see for 40 years, a little more, and they just deliver it. And then the music in this one, I know the music is kind of a contentious thing. I personally like it, but I understand why people don't. And
I just thought the rap song during like the rap dubstep during the Dark Troopers stages was funny. It was like, they were doing like Blue Man, or whatever. There's kind of groups where they'd use what's the word I'm looking for? Where they use like trash cans and stuff for weapon or for weapons for like instruments. And I was like, seriously, like improvised. That's where like it's they use improvised instruments, and that's what it sounded like because they were using the sounds of the ship as music. It was like,
oh yeah, no. Yep.
And even then, it didn't seem out of place, and it kind of the rhythm of it kind of harked to Terminator.
That's interesting. This really was. I like the Dark Troopers. I think the design is great. As a character designer, I've done enough of the stuff. You guys see my stuff around on Twitter. I think they got it, but it leans pretty hard on Battlestar Galactica meets Terminator. Basically, it didn't feel so Star Wars.
Yeah, I was about to say I was like, look, it's Cylons. Katie Sackhoff should be right at home.
Right? Yeah, because you got it's interesting. You got Katie Sackhoff, and the way the angles were. Sort of the fly-throughs on that really good battle with the was that a Lambda shuttle, Mike? The way it's tracing, that seems so much like original Battlestar Galactica, just the way the camera did its thing. Which, by the way, I was thrilled by that too. So that was good.
Yeah, the sounds and the visuals were all really good. There was a couple of points where I thought like the CGI was either too clean or just a hair jinky. Like the shot in hyperspace of Slave One following the Lambda shuttle to the mission, it looked like way too clean. I don't know how to explain it. Like throw a little bit of film grain on or something. I don't know. It looked almost perfect CGI, spec lines, and almost straight out of like a video game.
Yeah, absolutely. I noticed that too. And because I mean, the original effect with I guess the Falcons, the first one we saw, that was done in some really, really dirty, janky analog way. Like, and I actually I don't know what it was, but it's like liquid in a garbage bag or something. Really clever, by the way. Yeah, this was pretty a little too tight and shiny.
I think they refined what Disney used for the black hole is what ILM originally did. And it was like this weird, specially constructed. They had to custom build this water tank, add crap and glitter to it, and then shoot it in like a reverse color set. And that's just refined and looking better and bright blue. But like now it's, I don't necessarily know if it's because, oh, this is the way we always wanted it to look like and couldn't back then, or if it's just somebody's new interpretation of it.
Sure. Although I think it's neat that these guys get a chance to sort of flex their own creative muscles and to do something to maybe elevate it a bit or change it over time. So again, those things don't bug me at all. But speaking of the black hole, again, the troopers actually, they're very Maximilian.
Yeah, they are.
Right? I had that pencil holder for like years. I loved it. So again, character design was good.
Yeah, and the concept of the Dark Troopers originates in a video called Dark Forces, where it was Kyle Katarn, and he's the guy that actually gets a big chance for the Death Star and turns them over to, I can't remember if it was Princess Leia or somebody else that was taking them to Princess Leia, but the actual Death Star plans kind of thing was broke up into like 4 or 5 different crews getting different sections of the plans, and the Dark Forces video game was a big part of it.
Yep. So you guys want to keep an eye on the chat here. This is interesting. I'm going to go back up to good morning, RNK4. Welcome to the show. I don't think we've seen you before. Everybody here, we're going to chat about this stuff for a while. Give me a sub and stick a like if you like it. Stick a dislike if you don't like it. That's cool too. But
play that algorithm.
Yeah, that's right. So what do you guys think about the Bo-Katan with Sabine?
The reference RAK is making, I agree with. I don't remember the end of Rebels or that Mandalorian arc in Rebels all that well. I don't remember if Sabine won it in combat against Pre Vizsla, I think.
Okay.
I remember if like she did any sort of like combat thing. I think she just presented it to Bo-Katan because she thought Bo-Katan deserved it.
Yeah,
which doesn't make sense why Mando couldn't hand it over.
Yeah, here we go. There's Jeanville Balandre is saying, didn't make sense. Yeah, maybe not.
I mean, they tried to they're like, I thought that was kind of janky, where, you know, because they're like, oh, well, it's not the sword, it's the story. You know, it's the story that goes with it.
I'm guessing that if they left him alive, sort of situation, that he would go blabbing around that shouldn't earn it, right? And that would start to sound like a Mandalorian.
Which is kind of, I don't know, which was kind of dumb. It's like, why don't you just kill him?
Because Karen needed it for information.
What up,
and the Mandalorian paid double on the
bounty. Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's basically like they want to take. Din is going to be, you know, going to go to, I guess, Mandalore because he's got the sword now.
Yep.
He's gonna find out what real Mandalore is about,
which is so cool. You know,
hi, Little Burrito. I haven't seen you in here before. I don't know if the other guys have.
I mean, they're basically setting up Din as one of the main characters because in the legends, right? Like, doesn't Boba Fett, he gets real big in Mandalore and like, you know,
become Mandalore.
He creates like international deals for them and all kinds of crap, and they become like an actual player in the universe. So
Mhm.
I'm sure there were like other characters within there, like his granddaughter and stuff like that. That's kind of, I mean, Din's basically going to become those.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So Chad is busy here talking about the CGI. Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know. What'd you think, Mike? You catch some rough edges outside of the hyperspace thing?
A little bit of rough edges on Luke. Overall, like the ship scene and stuff like that, I didn't see a problem with. The Dark Trooper droids, they're gonna move a little bit inhumanly. They know they come nowhere near the uncanny valley, so that's gonna look weird to us no matter what. It's a maniform droid.
Can you guys imagine
Hmm.
if in the movies, instead of what we got that scene where Luke's coming into a spaceship to save whoever, right? And all of a sudden you hear on the comm, R2 jam those comms. I don't want any message going out or something like that. You imagine the roar of the crowd as he came. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah! Can you exactly right?
You know,
I mean,
you hear Mark Hamill's soft. He's got kind of a soft, eloquent sort of tone. To Luke, he's like R2 jam those comms. He's like everybody would have went ah.
It would have brought the fucking ceiling down.
I bet you there were a lot of people woke up at night from men screaming, from Star Wars fans screaming tonight.
Oh, tonight,
those theater moments, those big theater moments when they call back. I remember going into the Phantom Menace on opening night, which is just experience. And the second R2D2 was mentioned.
God, I was going to try to pause you for 1 sec because I was there with my gal. Exactly. And when R2D2 says his first beeps, and the place just went mental. Yes.
What is this droid's operating number? Your Highness, it's R2D2, and just the whole place went lightsabers waving all over the place. Yeah. It was a EDM party instantly.
Yep. Good for you. You were at the opening for that. Buddy, were you at the opening for Phantom Menace too?
I was in Kentucky.
Cool.
So there was gunfire.
I was in college. Yeah, I was in LaGrange, Kentucky.
Nice. Yeah, that was a good night. It was a lot of people in brown from bathrobes with plastic lightsabers to the real 504.
Yeah. You know what I remember most about that? I don't know. Like, those weren't my favorite movies, but I remember my friend actually, because we had waited for days to go to the movie, and he skipped out to get a blowjob.
Oh dear! Can you tell us on my show? We do
skipped out on 2 hours for 5 minutes. What?
Yeah. How did that go?
By the way, X.
It works for him. He's still married to the girl, so.
That's awesome.
Well, okay. I guess that worked out. I wanted to tell you, X, buddy Robert is just spurging all over Twitter about this episode now. That's great.
Oh, what's going on?
He loved it. Rob Meyer, Burnett.
Oh, nice.
He's blasting all over. He's like, Book of Boba Fett.
Oh, he didn't like it, or he did? I'm gonna have to look.
No, he's loving it.
Good for Rob.
Boba Fett is better than the Guardian of Forever.
Nice. Okay. I don't know. Is it appropriate to go find spoilery tweets from people you? No, let's keep this in here. Unless something really crazy happens on Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter's going nuts from the people I follow. That a lot of people have been really like Mandalorian. It seems to be winning over a lot of the fandom men, except the 3 or 4 harders I noticed that are just like, it's Disney, so it's garbage.
No.
No, I don't think they're that. I think what they are is that they wanted a specific tone to the story, and they wanted like legends. These guys, like a lot of these guys, like when the movies, the sequel trilogy and all that were first coming out, and Disney bought everything, and they were like, "Oh, they're going to make legends. They're going to make legends. We're going to see Thrawn." They got so excited and had such expectation, and they didn't get any of that. Right? Like that all blew up in their face with the movies. And then The Mandalorian came out, and they kind of hoped again that, they're going to make legends. They're going to make, they're bastardizing legends in our opinion, and it's horrible, And that's all it is.
Yeah,
like, that's it. Just
I really did. I'm still there for a lot of stuff. Like when Rebels first came out, that was the first stuff that was like actively bringing in EU material and like Ralph McQuarrie concept art into the designs of the worlds around it. And I was just like, come on. It's like, I know Dave Filoni's trying to just like pay homage to what came before, but people are actively praising them for like the designs that they think are originally theirs, and they're not telling them they're not. You know?
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot to that where they're kind of using the fandom that's been there, you know, the legacy, and they're not saying like, no, we didn't create this. Like, what was it? The you know, just some of the even the troopers that people think, you know, that aren't as familiar with the series or intimate with the series are like, oh, those are new, man, you guys did so good. No, those are not new. They were in the Clone Wars or they were in this. But I think like a lot of that is on, I don't think they're using it on purpose. I think what they are doing though is bringing all of the different mythology together and kind of creating their own universe out of it. And I'm okay with that.
Yep, me too.
I really hope they say fuck the sequel trilogy and the Mando universe is its own thing.
Yes, exactly. But I want to say good morning to W. Kung YT.
Hello again.
Yeah, we got a lively chat. It's fun. I've been on shows with a lot of people and very little chat, and we've got little people with a lot of chat. That's an interesting trend. I don't know what we're going to do next, but you know what I mean.
Burrito mentions Tarkin from Rogue One there regarding CGI and face mapping for Luke. And yeah, you're right. Number one, though, I would argue television budget, even though it's a really expensive television show, it's still a television movie budget. But even in Rogue One, I thought it looked fine. I thought Leia looked like she was made of plastic.
Yep. I thought that, and you guys probably all saw the deep fakes that were reprocessed them just in the last week, which were amazing. But I mean, we've come so far in the last, 3 years now from Rogue One. So nothing against the filmmakers. Now, Luke, because, you know, we try to sort of do it like, you know, we're on the couch at home. When, you know, me, Buddy, D, we watch this thing. You chit chat a bit. And when he came on, and he's like, is that Sebastian Stan? Is it Mark Hamill? And my take watching it live was that his face barely moved. So it's like they had a perfectly lit angle. And the remap would have been really easy. So it actually looked pretty easy because he didn't move. He didn't do much emoting.
A lot of face came from Return of the Jedi where he's talking to Leia.
Yep.
On Endor. I could tell that much.
Sure. Yep. So why didn't we get Sebastian Stan? I think there's probably a million reasons why it was more cost effective.
Winter Soldiers.
Yeah, I think he's just busy.
Yeah, there's that. And if I'm not mistaken, the budget on these is it's really low. Like I've heard
not as big as people think it is. Like people want to think that this is like Game of Thrones budget. It's not that budget.
No.
I heard average of $2 million per episode. And then they
saved
that's
like 1/7 of what, like I think Game of Thrones was 15 million per episode or something.
Okay.
10 to 15 depending on the episode, yeah.
Yes. I think this is way. So yeah, 7th, sure. I mean don't take it from us because we're just making this up on the spot this morning. But yeah, Game of Thrones had deep pockets. This does not.
Game of Thrones is all filming on location and everything, and Mandalorian's filming in this like crazy VR room.
Yeah,
that they designed just for this show.
But you know, we've given Pascal like a lot of crap. He did really good acting with a puppet. I mean, because that's probably a doll in front of him. You know, I thought that was really fantastic acting in his eyes and in his face, in his facial expression, where he was like, you know, looking at Grogu, letting him go, where it was with his eyes and with his face and with very few words and just a few gestures. You know, you got, okay, it's time for you to grow up.
Yep.
I have to let you go because I can't give you, I can't protect you forever. I can't give you the life you should have, but he can.
Okay, let me just put it out there. But like, did either of you guys tear up like I did, or are you more manly men?
I was with you. I didn't tear up.
Okay, well, I was like, gotta hit pause and play next. Okay, so yeah, sue me. But
It's fine. You know, I did think, I don't know, the whole girl power sequence was a little meh.
It wasn't.
okay,
I didn't find a fault with that. I just saw Star Wars characters kicking ass. They just happened to be women, and I was cool with it because all of them have demonstrated kick-ass abilities far already.
Yeah, I wasn't like, oh god, it's the girl power scene, but it was obviously a girl power scene, but I was just kind of like the just the
certainly wasn't
choreography of it.
game.
The choreography of it in general was just kind of like meh. I'm like, so the Star Troopers see the other two flying down, and they think, what? They're leaving.
So I want to take this in just off a bit to the right here, or the left, or this is not political. There's a spirit here that we had on our first show that we did last year with the with Insider, where we would kind of get on here and bitch about stuff and sort of wind up in kind of a dark place. So starting up the X stream, we talked about find the thing that's good and don't worry about the other part, and
Yeah.
it feels good. So to me, I mean, I've watched so many things I don't want to get into where gender politics, identity politics really do wreck it. And we've touched on that stuff too. Like everything CW is terrible.
Well, I mean, what I was getting at is it's a way
Scene
to
in Endgame.
It's a way that's like I thought that I was just about to say that the whole alpha whatever in Endgame, this was better than that. This is way better than that.
Yes, it was. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I mean, I saw it. It was being telegraphed as they started to assemble the ladies. I'm like, here we've got like 4. It's chicks are going to come kick ass, and these 115-pound women are going to take on some 220-pound men. They're going to win, and they do these days. But to me, these are the most badass of badass actual Mandalorians. So I gave it a pass. Like,
And it was done believably too. I mean,
Yep.
Ming-Na, her character is clearly established as being badass already.
Mm-hmm.
Sniper shot, martial artist. You've got, of course, Bo-Katan, and I don't know Sasha Banks' character's name, but
yep.
And then Gina Carano. Yeah, she's been firmly established, went toe-to-toe with an ATST, damn it.
Yeah. And right here. Like W. Kung says, well, yes, they do. But remember, she did a takedown. I'm thinking, come on. Like, she took a run at a guy who's, I don't know how big he was in that. But she put him on a hold. And then she fired off her jetpack and spun him into the dirt with that. I thought, okay, that works. This is Star Wars.
She's using that momentum from the jetpack to help her own. So I get it. It's a force player. That's why things like that are invented.
That's right. So on that note, and I see a lot of, being a big part of Fandom Menace, and I think we all are, I see a lot of positivity. I see some negativity. And with the releases, the announcements for the new stuff for 2021, 2022, that they're going to wreck it with politics. I'm not so sure, because every episode of this season has been so damn good. I think they're maybe just going to walk the line and maybe be a bit progressive if they want to, but
I think it all depends on who's involved in the production.
Yep.
I think they need to just like we said before, they need to break away from it being. If they would come out and just say, this is not going to go toward the sequel trilogy. This is its own timeline. There's so many more people like Steven and Ichibaka and all of them would probably get behind it.
Mm-hmm.
If you say, look, we're going to acknowledge, because what that does is what it does is a very fundamental thing in psychology. It acknowledges the pain. They would, without getting into it, without really focusing on it and having a kumbaya moment, they would acknowledge the pain and they would say, we're moving to something else. And I think the fans would come back. I really do. I think they would come back in droves.
Yep.
They're already starting to. They are coming around. A lot of hardline fandom menacers have been like, okay, it started off early in the first season, like, the Mandalorian seems to be that one bright spot, but we're going to wait for the other shoe to drop. So far, it really hasn't, and they've been getting more and more behind it, and more and more people are getting behind it. And I'm liking this momentum swing.
Yep.
We're getting at least decent scores, and it's turning heads.
It well said is exactly what it is. And I mean, I came in here primed, excuse me, from season 1 on the first episode with Buddy and some other people, ready to roast it. And we were even speculating for a couple of weeks beforehand whether it would churn out because we never saw the face.
Yeah, because Xevious thought it was going to be a girl in the helmet.
I did. And then I watched episode 1 and I was like, I'm obligated to say this is fucking amazing. I love this show. And season 1, episode 1 was really good. And then 2 and 3, and I goofed around even with them. I did a bar graph with Jeremy Geeks and Gamers. I was like, on the, they ranged from being like a 5 to a 7 to a whatever. That's kind of why we started doing this format. But it just keeps getting better and better. And I start feeling more and more warm and fuzzy about Star Wars as a whole.
Oh, sorry. My phone volume was up.
Okay. That's cool. Speaking of warm and fuzzy, did you guys see my Christmas tree on Twitter a few nights ago?
Yeah.
I didn't see the detailing. Oh, wait. It's the Star Wars decorations on it. Yeah.
Yeah. And it got retweeted.
With a stormtrooper helmet topper.
Yeah. Well, I couldn't find my, traditional kind of lame star thing. And then D, my girl, had something similar to it, but it had Tinkerbell on the top left, but she couldn't find that. I'm like, well, fuck it. Let's put some lights inside of a stormtrooper helmet. And that's the second time. That's the third time I've been retweeted by William Shatner. But the second time this week I got retweeted because there was a kerfuffle with somebody fighting about Star Wars versus Star Trek, and I missed some part of that. Which of course I would never have that discussion. But sorry, that's a bit on a tangent, but that's fun. But there, I've never.
Even Ethan is talking about it.
Well, Ethan, yes. Well, if people are talking about something, Ethan's gonna.
Well, he's saying I can't believe it. Merry Christmas, Pablo Hidalgo. Merry Christmas. I don't know why he's saying that.
Pablo Hidalgo is one of the story group. He's like the only in the story group, practically.
Oh, okay. So then he says, and he's telling people, he's like, no, sir. He's like, this one guy's like, can I go do something before I watch it? And he's like, no, you need to watch it now because it'll be spoiled soon.
Nice. Do you guys want to, hey, buddy, if you can, do you want to bring up Twitter or you want to share your screen so I can I'll try and run the show and you can, when you guys can track what's going on Twitter?
I'm going to leave soon because I got to go to work. So
that's cool.
It'd probably be better if Mike does it, if anybody. Yeah, I was just, but I was, I thought that there was a couple shots across the bow. I agree with Weaponized Nerd Rage where, Jon Favreau and the story team basically said, fuck you to Rian Johnson with Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think
I'm
so.
Okay with that strategy.
Jean-Will Bolandre says, I got a random question for you guys. This year we saw Mulan live action remake not go to theaters for obvious reasons, of course, and they release it on Disney Plus. That's not a question. Oh, there's the question. Would you be happy if Disney adapts that strategy with future movies? I mean, I think that's the way movies are going to go. The only kind of movies that are going to open up for the longest time are going to be drive-ins. I mean, the problem is that like those kind of things are habitual. Mm-hmm. Going to movies is like habitual. Like it costs money. I mean, it's the ceremony of it that is any good, right? It's going with friends, going with family, getting the popcorn, spending, $60, $80 for, to have, a couple hours of like togetherness or a connection with somebody. But people have gotten used to a different way of doing that now. So are they going to go back?
No, I mean, there's much smarter people on YouTube here than myself, but I follow those people and chat with them sometimes. And I'm in a place where, we're making plans. We got, is it a week till Christmas? And I'm going to have an option to see Wonder Woman in the theater or at home. And I can do it at home, I think, for free. And we just made the most sinful bowl of popcorn like an hour ago, me and Dee. And we made like proper microwave popcorn. And then she took another cup of butter and put it on top. It was great with extra salt. And the entire affair cost us $0. So yeah, driving, parking, doing stuff, all of that. I don't see because I remember, buddy, we were talking a long time ago, you know, with your some of your background, sort of human study of it takes how long to make a habit and how long to break a habit. They're very different.
Yeah. It takes to break a habit, it takes like 7 days it's like 7 days.
Sure.
And to make a habit, it's like 13 weeks.
Wow. What a disparity that is, you know?
Yeah.
So,
It doesn't take very long at all to break a habit, unfortunately. And that's the thing is that like you're like, okay, you know, all these people have broken like a ton of habits. I mean, some of them healthy, and in that, you know, like there's not as many restaurants and that kind of thing open, so people are cooking more food.
yep.
You know,
Which is cool.
you know, that's great. Like people are cooking more food, they're getting a bit healthier with that. That's great. Okay. But then there's things that, you know, like the gyms. Gyms are suffering hard because gym is like a habit. Going to a gym is a habit. You pay this certain amount to go to the gym, trying to get away, get in this different kind of headspace, whatever, right? But if people buy like exercise bikes and equipment for home and everything else, why would they go back to the gym?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Like, I mean, I was in the habit of going to a theater every week, you know, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night. It didn't really matter. Just go do that. And it costs, you know, $40-$60, depending what you do. And that's almost a year ago now. And now I haven't even built the habit of defaulting to, but I mean, we've got, you guys have seen my setup. I mean, there's a big 5K in front of me on one side. The other stuff, great speakers. I've got another one in a different room with, you know, like a normal TV. I don't need to, I want the experience of a crowd. I want to see people cheer when R2-D2 shows up. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, imagine this episode. I mean, Mike, you were sort of saying the same thing, but that would have been amazing. And now it was still, well, I don't know. I mean, I did it with friends. I mean, I had one friend here sitting beside me, and I just called up Buddy. I'm like, hey, you want to watch this together? So I think we're all going to sort of change the way we do stuff. Maybe even do this with more people.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can have like a quote unquote Zoom meeting, you know, with like that's what I'm saying. Like you imagine a crowd of people or whatever, and not even with a like Luke talking, but just R2-D2, you know, making the beeps. I think people would have gone ballistic because then you know who it is.
Yep.
There's people doing that kind of thing on YouTube now. I think Nerdist is one of the channels that like has a group of like 6 or 7 people watch it simultaneously.
Mm-hmm.
And once all these restrictions lift, I wouldn't be surprised at seeing like small venues doing the same that they did for Game of Thrones. Like there's quite a few bars that were like, it was Game of Thrones night. Everybody sat in there and all the TVs had Game of Thrones on and drink specials of that. And you could, there was live feeds into the bar. You could see the crowd reacting to it.
Mm-hmm.
I
yeah,
would
that's
not
fantastic.
to see that take off, especially for Mandalorian season 3.
Yep. I mean, like for me, you'd mentioned Robert Meyer Burnett before. We do some work together. But I assume both of you guys are, no, gosh, we got an audience. The Post Geek Singularity is a really neat bunch. And almost every night there's a watch party. So just before Mandalorian tonight, I got invited into a Facebook group to watch this all together, which is so hilarious because, like, you know, one screen, because I can split my Zoom into the 2 monitors. And one monitor is the show, and one is just a bunch of dudes sitting there on their laptops. But I mean, it's fun. It's community. And I think we can build this back up, but I don't see us building back theater revenues. That just seems really unlikely at this point.
You're going to end up with like super theaters, I think, where instead of like a bunch of smaller ones. I think you're going to end up with like great big like 40 screen emporiums, and they're all going to be like IMAX.
Okay, that doesn't sound
just
like
to maximize on what theater experience there could be.
Mm-hmm. So big wraparound IMAXs with amazing sound that you pay premium,
and, like the Mega City version of a theater. Yeah.
Yep. Oh. Mm-hmm. Cool, Michael. You got a screen. Can I share this? What do we got?
Yeah, go for it. This is my Twitter. I search tag The Mandalorian, and yeah, the first image right here.
Yep, that's exactly the Rogue One, as opposed to coming out of the elevator. Yep.
Dude, did I not call it? But 30 seconds beforehand. I'm like, they're gonna have whoever it is. We're pretty sure it was Luke because of the glove. But he's gonna come and fucking wreck. Pardon my language.
I don't know. It's kind of interesting how Darth Vader is supposed to be the sort of the attacker, and he's got a more defensive inward stance there, whereas Luke is open, is a come at me, bro.
Believe it or not, that's a fairly defensive stance too, because it just takes a wrist rotation to guard center mass, and when you're out there like that, you're ready to sidestep and
yeah, but he's
deflect
starting at
simultaneously.
center. He's starting a crossbody. I mean, I've done fencing too, so I just think it's interesting.
Oh, guys, want to fill me in? I've never done fencing. If you want to get technical, that's cool.
I mean, what he's saying is, that all Luke's got to do is like a flick of a wrist, and he comes in, or he can parry out with another flick of the wrist. He can come in with a riposte. I mean, there's a lot of things that he can do, but I was just saying that he started with the sword in over his body, like Darth does, and so it's like his cross body. So I mean, because all he's got to do to defend is just up.
Yeah, sec.
Whereas Luke is like, I'm gonna slash you in half.
Mike, go back. So wait, is Star Wars Theory in tears?
That was Star Wars. It's a clip from Star Wars Theory's watch party. Yeah,
Good for him.
He's just openly bawling.
That's what I was doing. So I like that guy. I don't know him, but know of him.
I mean, his entire life.
I don't know
his Star Wars,
hella
literally.
busy.
Wait, sorry, what's that?
He said his chat is hella busy.
Yeah, I used to use 90s words like that.
You don't want to be crying live on camera too much, but a little bit that's fine. I like him. He seems like a good dude.
It's like, don't go, like, what is that saying from Tropic Thunder or whatever, where they say don't go full retard. Don't go full retard, but it's full Kevin Smith if you're going to cry.
Yeah.
If you're crying, don't go Kevin Smith. Don't go full Kevin Smith.
Oh yeah, that was good. What did Kevin Smith do that for?
Everything. That's the point. I mean, somewhere a spider dies and Kevin Smith cries. I mean,
we did this show months ago that came up. What do you think of Kevin Smith? I like him so much because he just wears his heart on his sleeve. I think that's pretty cool.
I think some.
Oh, this callback shot right here.
Nice.
From like episode 2 or something like that right there. And then now.
Mm-hmm. This is good. Should I be tweeting instead of YouTubing? Who knows? It's like, yeah.
Well, these guys are doing both, so.
Yeah, good for them. And then,
let's just hope Goku graduates before this happens.
Yep. And then Buddy said I should do a painting of Grogu touching Mando's face. So I stopped, went back a minute, and capped it. I'll probably do that tomorrow.
Yeah, I think like a side view or some view where you get like Grogu reaching out to Mando as he pulls his helmet off. That's the scene. That's the captured scene that you need.
Yep. Because
it's the vulnerability of Mando versus Grogu overcoming his trauma and reaching out.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful scene, it's beautiful imagery, beautiful symbolism, it's just a great overall closing. It's closure for both of them.
Mm-hmm. There it is. Yep. So yeah,
I think that, but like to the side, so we see both of their faces. We need to see both of their faces, I think.
Yep. And maybe I also put his helmet sort of almost just above his eyes, so you can see that happening too.
Yeah. So you can see, like I said, that vulnerability of, I'm opening myself up to you.
Yep.
Basically, I love you without saying it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
That's an X-Wing.
That's exactly what X said. He was like, "That's an X-Wing."
Yeah.
We are all Leonardo DiCaprio today.
Yes. I was holding a beer and a cigarette just like that, pretty much.
He's like, that's it. He's like, catch you next week. That's like, yeah.
The way I cried when this stupid showed up.
I'm gonna stand on my Nope, I'm not gonna stand on. I'm gonna raise to a 10. How's that? I just love this.
Return of the fucking Jedi.
Yeah, this look on Din Djarin's face right here.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one that caught everybody. It's like, oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I said. He did a great job. He did a really good acting. Like his acting was totally great. Was just amazing for this episode.
He's so good. I mean, he got into it with the Phantom Menace a bit. I get it. I stayed out of that discussion. But...
Oh, I didn't think of that. That's really good. Just for once, let me look at you with my own eyes.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah. I come to think of it, I'm sitting there trying to think back. Has he ever taken the helmet off in front of Grogu? And I don't think he has.
I don't think so, no.
Because Grogu was outside playing on ATST planet when he did it, when he went to eat.
Oh. See, it's hitting me again. I mean, it's early. I'm underslept, but damn it.
It's going to be a bitch. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, no. Well, I'm easy to get... but wow. And don't forget, I mean, I'm not an actor. Who didn't goof around in college or high school doing stuff, but you're holding a green fuzzy puppet, and to pull that off, that's not easy. So all the props to that guy.
The greatest moment, and I think the greatest moment was when the Dark Troopers turned around.
Mm-hmm.
Because the bigger threat was behind them.
Yep, they're all communicating with each other through Wi-Fi or some shit, and yeah, fuck the door, we got a problem.
It's like, they're like, let's turn around. Why? Just wait, guys, it's coming.
I like this tweet right here showing Ahsoka. It can't get better. It got better.
Yes.
Now, wouldn't it be cool if those two met and you got that? There was a meme or a cartoon that somebody created that was so like heartbreaking.
I saw
where
that.
it was Ahsoka Tano with Luke. She meets Luke, and they're talking about Anakin, and she's like, I wish I could have helped him, and Luke's like, well, he did change in the end. He did come back.
Yeah.
And then Ahsoka just like falls to her knees and cries. And I'm like, I want to see that now. I have to see that.
Yeah.
Would that not be just so amazing? Like Rosario Dawson and Sebastian Stan or Mark Hamill, whoever, and you just, you see her like kind of almost in awe of him, like she's on her knees and with her head down, crying, her hand up, and he's holding her hand, and he says, he did change in the end.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
The Dark Troopers were made with Beskar.
Do you have a source on that? I don't know that.
I think it's evident in the fact that they could, like, when they were hitting his helmet, they weren't crushed back. Everything else that's hit his helmet or that's hit Beskar has been crushed back because the Beskar won't give. But when they were hitting him, they didn't. They didn't break. Think about it. As hard as they were hitting him, enough to pound through doors.
Yeah, I'm looking at strikes and he's going through joints to fuck it all up.
Yeah, if he wasn't, Beskar or whatever, like if they weren't Beskar, then physically they would have been destroyed.
Yep.
Trying to destroy him.
Hey, Mike, something just caught my eye from about 2 minutes ago. It's on Twitter, but it's Gamers. So it's Jeremy, because he's running the comm right now.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I think we can get away with sniping him. He's not gonna call me. I do stuff, done stuff with him. Oh wait, should I do it? Should I snipe over here?
I don't think Luke
I'm
was
sure your
cutting.
computer could handle it better.
Hang on, let me see.
Where's Grogu? Is he saying?
Me realizing Grogu might have been killed by Loren.
Was he cutting through them, or was he cutting through their joints?
He starts the strikes in the joints, and then I think uses that leverage to get through armor.
I think it's like anything else. Once it's like cracked, then you can go through it.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was using a combination of the force. I think that's the thing. Is like that's
there's
what
a
I'm showing. Is that
beheading, hip joint, force push, neck to shoulder.
yeah? See, he's
That
destroying
one
the
might have been
joint.
right.
Just so perfect.
I'm not 100% sure what he did to that one.
Which one?
The one where he's around, deflected 2 shots back at it, and then he just like there's force thrust that he does, and it just kind of sparks really, falls down. I don't know if like he quickly crushed the innards of it or what, but
I mean, I think that's what it's showing is that his force is so strong he can even kind of break Veskar. So if you see that by showing that, not telling it,
see,
it's like
after
he
this
could
move
have
back here,
been.
he takes that one,
Yeah.
that one. After it comes back from the camera, he's going to spin and deflect 2 blaster bolts at one. There.
Yeah.
Oh, he threw a piece of another one at it and fucked it up. Okay.
Okay, so he's using themselves. He's using Veskar against Veskar.
And high impact against the joints that have a lot of moving parts to simulate a neck joint.
Yep.
So their armor is Beskar, but the inside of them is not.
Well, no, because they're still partly, well, not human, but alive and possibly human, right?
No, they actually state in the episode these stages of Dark Troopers are full droid. They took the human out of the equation.
Is the brain part of it still?
I don't know. I know as in the original thing, they're convinced it's not.
Okay. Interesting.
I mean, they would have been killed in the space if they weren't, if they were people.
I don't know. We have the sci-fi thing. I mean,
That's true.
Physics don't have to make sense. Like I was actually okay. What do you guys think about this one? When I'm a big Formula One fan and former NASCAR, but I like auto racing. So when the first Dark Trooper punched, Mando, it was like the one that impact was like, it was like into the steel, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 back into it. In the real world, a helmet wouldn't, because buddy, what's the medical? Is it like it's brain decompression? And the front.
Oh yeah. You're talking about like even though because the head would have been moving inside the helmet, so
Exactly.
he would have been dead. Yeah.
Yeah, like your brain is
rattling. Yeah.
And then 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and I'm sitting here going, "Oh my god! Like, are they going to kill Mando? Because you never know, right?"
Yeah.
And maybe then they'll do their thing and put Gina in it. I mean, whatever. But the fact that he just like bounced back to his feet and kicked his ass, I thought was cool, by the way, because I don't need physics in my Star Wars. It's fine. Like I'll let that stuff go all day, all night.
Yeah.
But okay. Yeah, we don't need science.
Well, and to be fair, Mando's head was embedded pretty firmly in the wall, so
Yeah.
Well, that's again what I was saying is like the helmet wasn't giving, everything around him was. So if the machine wasn't Beskar, I think it literally would have destroyed its own arm.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah.
Which is something I'd like to see happen. Like, it comes up against some old decommissioned battle droids that are just like rogering around, and the weapons don't work, so they try to melee him.
Yep.
They punch up and break their own hands off, and just
Those guys are boring, though. I mean, it's almost like I'm still, as a 501st Legion guy, and with Stormtrooper stuff all over my damn house, I'd like to think it was good for something, but it never was, so it never upsets me. But every time.
Oh, see, people doing watch parties.
What's that?
Is that simulated or? I think that's simulated.
Wait a minute. I think that's simulated. That's disappointing.
Yeah, because there's just nobody can. You look at how close they are. That it can't happen right now with COVID anywhere.
No.
Oh, there's some places breaking the. breaking it specifically.
If you were to put that online, you'd be putting yourself in danger because some asshole would turn you in.
Yep. We don't want to talk about that on this show, but
I'm just saying. I mean, that's just the truth. Like some asshole will turn you in.
Oh, totally.
Because I mean, there's fines for that crap, and they get paid for it. They've incentivized being a jerk.
Yep.
The governments have.
Yeah, I'm hosting a wake on Sunday. That's all I'm going to say. It's going to be good. Going to be some whiskey flowing.
Just like I held a funeral for my turkey.
Yeah. Okay.
He broke my little heart.
So I just got to...
The one below it brings attention to me. Okay, but wait, someone please confirm that the Book of Boba Fett is a separate series or the main focus is season, and not the main focus of season 3, because I did not get attached to Din and his little green son for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
That's a toss-up theory because the show is just called The Mandalorian. We could, because Din's arc is kind of done right now, we could very easily just see it go over to being Boba Fett Crime Lord.
Yep.
I mean, I'd be okay with that.
Me too.
I mean, given that I know that there were difficulties behind the scenes, Pedro and stuff, he might have been like, okay, I'll stick around for the rest of this, and then out.
It could have been.
So do you guys want to talk about the goofball who said that, in fact, no, we have to do this. So Jeremy Bulloch passed away yesterday. You guys, I'm sure, saw that.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, the video, the end of my first YouTube video ever that I put up a few hours ago, the very end of it has a dedication.
Good for you, man. That's nice.
For those who don't know, Jeremy Bulloch was the original actor for Mando in the original trilogy.
Yep. So did you guys see the gentleman, if you will, who said that he didn't do anything but put on a helmet and not...
Oh man, I ripped him a new one.
You did too. Good. Okay. Welcome to the Extreme. We hang out with like-minded folks who don't like jackasses. And I think, buddy, you replied to him. Did you as well, Michael?
I did a reply directly to him in his thread, and then I also tweeted him.
Nice. So did I. So good for you. What'd you say?
Complete disrespect intended, but maybe you should shut the fuck up before you talk about shit you don't know.
Okay. Yeah, mine was along the same lines. He's like, I mean no disrespect, but... And then he went on and said, you did nothing and wore a suit and this and that, whatever. And then, again, forgive me, but I showed it to my girlfriend, and she just like, she does this. You've seen her. She goes all shaniqua on me. You know, she like, her hands go up in the air. She's like, what? And she's like, the way he holds his head, the way he does his thing, the way he struts. I'm like, yeah, exactly. That's not many people could do that. That's how you get fucking hired to do a character who's got a non-speaking role. It's anyway, that pissed me off a bit, but
well, and have some respect for not talking shit about a dude on the day he fucking passes away.
That's what my tweet was. That's all. And I said, shame on you, or something like that. It's like a guy, you know, it's a real person in there.
You know, and I remember the original voice too. Now I don't remember Jeremy Bulloch applied the original voice as well, but I've got the unspecialized versions saved on my computer, and just I remember that original Bo voice where it wasn't the kind of tame clone voice. It was like, what if he doesn't survive the freezing process? He's worth a lot to me. And I'm like, that's tame as fuck. I remember the originals. What if he doesn't survive the freezing process? He's worth a lot to me. He's like snarky to Vader.
Yes.
Like, what?
That's exactly why. Because he's the only person who is snarky to Vader and walked away from it. That's really cool. And I have all those too, by the way. And if you need some stuff, I've got all the stuff. And mixes of Laserdiscs, mixes of VHS, mixes of, God, even Betamax. Not on mine, but I've got where they've been resampled, set up. So yeah.
somewhere around here. I'm not exactly sure where they're at. They might be in a storage box, storage tub. But I do have the original. The first time the trilogy was released all together on VHS from CS Distributing.
Mhm.
Back when that was a thing, and it had like that one flip open cover, and then like the sleeve that held the 3 VHS sleeves.
I've got a three box VHS that makes Vader in a really lovely slipcase, which is probably 97-ish. And then there's a 5 box one, so it's basically the movies with 2 more special feature stuff. And they're pristine. They've only been watched a few times, so they should hopefully have aged okay. And I've got the gear to transfer those things. So, if Disney was smart, they would do all that, put it all together, license it, I guess give credit for it if they wanted to, and give us all the original stuff with no SE anything. I would.
Yeah, they ought to.
I would love to see that.
A Marvel Star Wars crossover.
Yeah, I was gonna. No,
Nope.
don't do it. Don't do it. Love you.
You guys
man.
are fuddy duddies. Fuddy duddies.
What, buddy? Do you want one? No.
No, I don't care.
I will
think it's
say
funny.
that kind of did happen in a Star Wars Tales comic, but the Tales comics were specifically not canon. They were just fun stories that they wanted to tell in a little anthology comic book that Dark Horse released once in a while. And
Do you think it would be hilarious? Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, yeah, one of them was very specifically, it was Han and Chewie on a smuggler run. They get in a bad way. Millennium Falcon had like an accident in hyperspace, and it ends up crash landing on this little blue-green dot that's the third planet from its sun. And it lands in a heavily forested area, kind of crash lands and like is stuck in the tops of trees kind of thing.
Yeah.
And when Han and Chewie get out to try to figure out what's going on, a whole bunch of, these crazy darker skinned people using bows and arrows with feathers in their hair start firing at them, and Han ends taking like 3 in the chest. And Chewie manages to bring him back up to the Falcon, strap him in a seat, and like try to medicate him kind of thing. But like one of them is like has nicked his heart. He's dying.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Oh, you're just gonna have to take care of yourself from here on out, Chewie. I'm sorry, I can't do it." And the Falcon's screwed; it can't take off, so Chewie has to live here now. And like the second Han dies, Chewie like goes up to the top of the Falcon, lets out like this gut wrenching Wookiee freaking roar, and all of these, they're Native American Indians. They're the Sailor Sage tribe, in the Pacific Northwest. They all just look off and they're like, "What the hell was that? We're not gonna mess with that anymore. We're gonna go away now." And Chewbacca starts the Bigfoot legend. And then in like 1938, something like that, it fast forwards to 1938, you see this explorer running around looking for signs of Bigfoot because there's some like really convincing evidence that he's out there. And while he's looking for Bigfoot, he looks up and he sees this structure that's like overgrown with moss and stuff in the trees. And he climbs his way up there and he can't quite reach it from the branch. So he pulls out his bullwhip and swings over there to get inside and look around. And he takes off his fedora. And yeah, it's Indiana Jones. And he sees the skeleton in the cockpit with like 3 arrows in it. And it's just like this weird, unnerving moment that Indy has. He's like, you know what? Whatever's living here, if there is a Bigfoot, I say we leave it alone. And he takes off.
I kind of dig it. In a comic, though, not a movie in canon.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds kind of fun, actually. Yeah.
I think it'd be funny to see like Iron Man and Luke Skywalker, those two meeting. That'd be hilarious.
Okay. Wait. Back up. So, holy shit. So, it's been like 2 hours since we first absorbed this. Luke Skywalker is back as Luke Skywalker. It has been...
Yeah, he's not Jake Skywalker anymore.
No, it's Luke Skywalker, like for real.
It is
who
Grandmaster Luke Skywalker.
Yes. And he killed everybody without blinking. And now we got to wait. Well, now we got to wait like 10 months to see more. That kind of stuff just destroys me. But but it's hope. It's something we need, something we can look forward to. What next? How many seasons can we get out of this? Lots.
Yeah.
I'm so stoked. I mean, oh my god, that was. And will they bring in? I mean, they have the best game in Hollywood. Will we get what's his face, Sebastian Stan? Maybe to go forward with it makes sense to me. But an X-wing comes in, Luke comes in, he fixes stuff. I've wanted this since I was like in junior high school, or if not earlier, and here we got it. So it's such a hats off thing for me. It's just fucking wow.
I gotta say, I like him as a cameo in this, but I don't know that I will see a Luke Skywalker series or a New Jedi Order series in this world at this time.
No, but it could be something they would do, like an animated short on the Disney Channel itself or something.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like in between Star Wars shows, or in between Saturday afternoon kind of fare, or Saturday morning, or after school afternoon kind of thing fare. You've got like a 3-minute special, and it's Guardians of the Galaxy meets Star Wars.
That one would be bonkers.
Yeah, that'd be fine. I would enjoy that. I wouldn't probably pay a ton of attention to it, but I think it's more about the core. Like Mandalorian is on a really good trajectory, and they can just keep doing it. Because I was wondering how after, he's the glorified babysitter in half. He's like the handyman babysitter. He goes and does stuff, comes back, they restart for the next week, and now they've gotten all that off. So we now have a new mission, a new plan for him. We haven't even talked about. Now we've got like Boba Fett as like the warlord of Tatooine. We didn't even touch on that.
Yeah, or whatever the hell's going on there. Like what's his plan?
We've got like Bib Fortuna some years later on the throne because Jabba gets killed by Leia, and then Fett walks in. What the hell's going to happen there?
He straight bodies Bib Fortuna and sits on the throne.
Yep.
Like, where are they taking that? Is he going to try to be a crime lord, or is he just like building kind of a mercenary syndicate? Because how is Boba Fett going to get back in the game of the galaxy?
I don't know. All right, guys, I got to get out of here. I need to go to work.
Okay, dude, go make that cheddar. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you in the. It's already the morning.
Take care, buddy.
Talk to you soon.
You guys have a good one, man.
Get it. Bye. All right, Mike. Yes, continue with that. What do you think is going to happen with? Are they going to make Boba the? The Hutts ran Tatooine among many other places, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a big old chunk of Hutt space on the galactic map.
Exactly. So what would they do with Boba Fett? That's interesting. Like, is he still a good guy? Because they're writing him dark. Although that's even part of Tamura, just his tone and the way he moves as well. I wonder.
Well, the whole Maori warrior attitude. I love that. That fucking snarl he got on his face during the Stormtrooper fight, the last episode.
Yep.
It was just when he turned around and held that gaffy stick up. I'm just like, oh man, okay, yeah. He doesn't need his E3. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the trajectory for Boba Fett? I honestly couldn't speculate because I did not see that coming. Don't get me wrong, I actually did call Boba and Fennec taking off and separating from the group and going their own way and doing their own thing. I didn't think they were going to plan something for it, and I have zero idea what that plan could be at this point.
Mm-hmm. So
and I don't know that he was ever necessarily heroic, nor do I think he was ever a villain. He's mercenary.
Yeah, he's his own guy.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, he's got his code, but like he's still the highest bidder kind of guy.
Yep.
I've never seen him necessarily as a take shit over kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, wise guys.
Wise guys. Good morning.
Boba Fett's trajectory. You mean the Sarlacc pit?
Yeah. I don't know. He cleared that one. so he's gonna be okay.
Yeah, I guess a crate dragon ate the one he was in, or something like that, based on the kind of dropped information we got. I still like the EU version where he managed to escape it by like going nuts with his grenade launcher and his jetpack and barely surviving, being healed up by Dengar. And like even through all the other adventures Boba Fett has in the EU, he takes special time once a year to fly Slave 1 to Tatooine, point it up, hover above the Sarlacc, and burn his thrusters for like 5 seconds and then take off.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I think there's some it's visually very symbolic to have him sitting on, I'm sorry, the throne's the wrong word, but I mean, it's the Game of Thrones kind of thing. It's the palace. So yeah, that's probably the right word, actually.
Yeah, it's clear that Fortuna kind of rebuilt that sliding dais that Jabba used to just slug on.
Yep.
To fit his body. So
yeah, and he killed him like just. It's like you're done without blinking. So yeah, he's not a good guy. Maybe Boba Fett becomes our new bad guy, because I mean they built up, I guess, what, Moff Gideon to be the big bad, and I mean how many times did he fall down on his ass in this episode? Like 3, 4, 5 times.
Mm-hmm. See, I thought he was going to be force sensitive, and like there was a bit of that. You could sense that he could sense the connection between Din Djarin and Grogu.
I saw that too. You did.
He could sense the connection. He kind of like got these little psychic kind of nudges, but he didn't really he didn't throw anybody telekinetically. He didn't throw force lightning or anything like that. I was expecting a bit more from that.
Yeah, they really alluded to him being a bigger thing with the Vader, the almost fully Vader outfit, and then he emerged as a TIE fighter at the end of season 1 with the Darksaber, and he just kind of got thrown around by the the Mando girls. So
he talked a lot of shit.
Yep. Dude, he's good. I hope they make him as big and bad as they want to, but he doesn't really stand up too much. And then Boba, like I said, he's reclining, and I remember. I don't know his sidekick, the really pretty girl to his left. That's that's Bruce Lee's. Is it granddaughter, goddaughter, something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, just badass, and she's swinging from the same thing from from the last time we saw that. It was almost like there should have been like Salacious Crumbs, like Godson getting eaten would have been a good the best way to cap it off. But yeah, there's some badassery going on there, and they wouldn't have gone to the trouble of all that because that set was enormous and very impressive. We're going to see that again, season 3 for sure.
Now my question becomes is like, are they going to split off this show? Are we going to get a season 3 of The Mandalorian that follows Din Djarin going to Mandalore to help Bo-Katan reclaim the planet? Or are we going to focus on, or is The Mandalorian going to become a focus on Boba Fett, and we might get interspersions of what's going on with Mando and Bo-Katan?
I don't know, man. It's a good question. I mean, they put their cards on the table last week with 9 or 10 new episodes. Sorry, series.
Maybe they didn't announce this one because they knew it was going to be airing right now.
Interesting. Do they have an obligation to tell us what they're going to do? So
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like speculation is running wild at this point. I honestly don't know. It could be a whole new show, The Book of Boba Fett, along with Mando season 3.
So 2 separate things on the same timeline doing different stories.
Mm-hmm. And we know Rangers is going to be on the same timeline as well as the Ahsoka show.
Yep.
So like Buddy mentioned a few times, they'll be able to share assets and have crossover characters whenever they want to. Yeah,
it's true. Someone mentioned a few minutes ago in the chat, Bad Batch. That's the one, because it escapes me what that's about. That's the...
from the final season of Clone Wars 3D animated, there was a 3-episode arc called The Bad Batch, and it's about a group of clones that like weren't as cloney as they should be. They had a whole lot of more like independence, but in their makeup, they had a lot more individuality to them. There's like one big berserker kind of guy who's just like, oh, I like to punch a lot of big things, and is just like this big burly freaking dude in his armor. There's the leader of the group who is absolutely styled after Rambo.
Nice.
Right down to fighting with a vibro knife, the same way Rambo does.
Okay, cool.
Has a red bandana around his head. There's a slim tech head, and then the cold calculating sniper.
Okay.
And they were kind of outcasts for, like Wu Kung or W Kung says right there, like they were an outcast unit, but they were specialists when you really needed shit done. When you needed, they were kind of a suicide squad for clones.
Yep. That sounds good. So, hey, what do you think of Clone Wars stuff? Have you seen them all? I'm guessing the answer is yes.
Yeah, I did watch all the Clone Wars. I thought it was a solid series. I didn't have any particular problems with it or anything like that. There was no lore breaking anything. It filled gaps in the EU that weren't covered in books or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as that goes, it flows right in there. Yeah, a clone A team. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. I want to say good morning, Felix. You're new here. Welcome. Give us a like, give us a subscribe if you'd like to. And wise guys, if you want to get in here and chat, your hours is crazy as mine probably, but say hi in DMs. And if you want to get in, my head's still exploding from that show. I'd love to get another voice. So be my guest, be our guest.
Literally came in and said, may the force be with you, and flew away. Well, he fucked up a platoon of dark troopers too, so that was cool.
Kung, hello, you're talking my language, bro. Lewis Hamilton is my boy. Everyone's boy. Do you know him, Mike?
Those are two very common names, and I've met a lot of people, so I'm not sure.
Right. We're talking Formula One here, which I can do.
Okay.
I love that stuff too. It's another story.
I always get Formula One driver names mixed up with soccer player names, so no, I'm.
I know it's tough, man. Like following all sports and all continents is tough when you're doing all the other stuff that we all do.
Like the only name I can confirm in Formula One is Andretti.
Mario, yes, gotcha. Dude, it's fun. F1 wrapped up last Sunday. It's genius, but that's not on my. It's kind of off-brand, but it's good stuff. Can't wait for them to come back. And Lewis Hamilton's won more than anybody. Smeeze, ahoy. That's an interesting way to spell it. But ahoy.
Hola, Smeeze.
Hola.
Oh, wise guy's got to go to work. That's right. I forget. He holds like a full-time regular job on top of doing all these stream backups for Comicsgate and on top of all the plugs that he does and moderating he does on everybody's stream. Wise Guys is like one of the hardest working people in Comicsgate. Mm-hmm. It's crazy, all the stuff he does. I don't know how he has enough hours in the day.
I know. I'll second that. Dude, if you're still here listening, I do comics full-time. This is all I've been doing for the longest time. And illustration and whatever, but I just do this stuff and then chat when I have time. Even that is hard. How you run shows every day or 2 or 3 and then do everything else and you're modding and everything. It's impressive as hell, and all the applause to you. Dude. It's good. I mean, like, Mike, you keep crazy ass hours as well. But
it's just sleep when I sleep and awake when I'm awake. But I make sure on Thursday nights I at least get a nap before,
Yeah. Well, I mean, I got to figure out something to do for next week, and I'm sure that won't be hard, by the way. And we just did, my lovely gal moved from place A to place B, which happens to be right across the hall from me, which is ridiculously naughty, convenient, but cool. And convenient too. And yeah, we were like 15 minutes, like right before Luke came out, she just was like, I'm tapping out. There's no lights, no cameras, no whatever. I'm going to sleep.
First thing when she wakes up, don't tell her anything. Just put the episode back on and just sit her down.
Thank you. That's good advice, actually.
While she's doing that, you go make her breakfast.
Fuck. That's very wild. Yeah.
It doesn't matter what it is. It could be scrambled eggs and jelly on toast. She will appreciate the gesture.
Okay, done. I'll do that. Because, you know, like yourself, we've got multiple kids in multiple houses in multiple situations, and it's just it never ends. And then trying to be a YouTuber and a tweeter and a Instagrammer a little bit, and then dealing with shit on Facebook. Because I'm noticing people are moving from Twitter to Facebook DMs to a degree in the last few weeks, maybe month. And I've got to check all this stuff and then try to take care of everybody else at the same time. It's, there's not a lot of napping going on. Wise Guy says he appreciates the kind words. Sometimes I feel like a zombie. Can't help but wonder if some of the Comicsgate zombie books are based on me. Yeah, dude, probably. No, not
dude,
probably.
you should ask about cameos in those zombie books. That would be great.
Yeah, but it's good. Speaking of Comicsgate, and I'm going to go back and I want to say this is the best chat we've had. We have this way more chats than viewers, however that's possible. But it is people like everybody listening here and interacting, and guys like Wise Guys who just somehow spin every plate in the world and then still keep it together somehow. It's cool.
I don't know. I made it, like I said, I made my first YouTube video today, got it uploaded today. And that took 16 hours of like script writing and like image editing over the audio and stuff like that. And I was just like, that blew me away just for a 10-minute video. If I do that, I can only do that once a week and maybe not interfere with the drawing I need to do.
I know, right? Yeah. Anybody, again, catching on replays, we're getting nice traction on here. But if you want to do this, well, don't do this as a living. Do this as a side to augment your living or whatever you want to promote.
And that's what I think I'm going to have to do. Yeah. It's like, there's these people who like become a YouTuber while they're trying to do a comic thing. And people like Bancroft can pull it off where he streams like an hour a night. Yep. And I guess that would be easier too, just doing a live stream for an hour a night. It's fine because you can go in with a subject. He's got a panel ready to go to talk about it and pick up any slack he has. Whereas like the prep of a video eats up a lot of time because of editing, because of, script writing, to make sure you don't sound like an idiot and just, your way through it.
Let me think here for a sec. Michael's a guy who has been doing this for about 6 months. It's my rough guess, but he's got his night show. He's very disciplined. He's really strictly, okay, we're on, and then 1 hour we're off. I've been on his show 4 or 5 times. He's really good at it. But when it's done, which is cool. At the same time, the wacky stuff, say when Cecil goes live at 3, he's had a few drinks and then goes for 7 hours. It
goes till he falls out of his chair. Yeah,
exactly. And so don't ask me for advice because everybody that I'm associated with or friends with, even just follow, and all those guys are, everyone's doing their own thing, and you got to do it till it sticks to the wall. You got to throw shit and see what works. So this is the one commitment a week, and I'm going to come up with something else new for next week and onwards. But you just have to do it and see what, I don't know, see what happens. But if any advice I can give to anybody listening to this later is that it is hard as fuck. It's just like, get out of bed, draw some stuff, do some things, do whatever, deal with your life, go back, do something else. And maybe it clicks,
And it's almost more fun to do it as a whim because like, oh, hey, I got this idea really quick and you can sculpt that down. But if you try to make it something that you do on a regular basis, it becomes a chore, depending on the mentality you've got. There's a lot of people that are like, oh, yay, it's time for me to make a video today. But there's people who say, oh, shit, I've got to get a video out today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love what Kung's saying here. We do have a high signal to, I know exactly what you're saying. We have good takes. Yeah, we got good people. Buddy is one of my God damn it, one of my closest friends, and we get together for 5-10 minutes and we just go. Mike, I just met a few weeks ago. You too, as well. So yeah, I think we have a low noise. We know our shit.
And between the three of us, we all geek out on different aspects of what we talk about. So there's like 3 different viewpoints and 3 different sources of information that and people can be like, oh, I glom onto Buddy because he talks about this, or I glom onto X because he talks about this, or I glom onto Mike because he talks about this. And between the 3 of us, there's a really good cycle of like people who are paying attention and checking it out.
Yep, it's pretty damn good. So anyway, thanks, man. It's a nice compliment.
Hey, not a problem. Oh yeah, thank you. I want to say Wukong. I'm trying to add an extra vowel in there, and I know it's not there.
So
again, Will. Random. Are you guys playing any games currently? How about you, X? Any time for video games?
Yes, big time right now. So I'm old school. I like games that are really, really, really hard. I was at Walmart. Don't tell my girlfriend, but I was looking at. So her favorite game of all time is Galaga.
Nice.
And I found one of those little cute. They're like what?
The mini stand-up arcades.
Yes. And there's actually 2. One was like $90. One was like $40. It's the same game, but one's way cuter. So I played Galaga 6 hours ago. But in real life, because again, these games last for like in the 80s. If you get to level 1, 2, 3, 4, you're good. 5, 6, 7, you're probably out. So I like games that are hard, and I found that console games have just been they got cheats and whatever. But the only thing that works for me is actually Forza. So yeah, that's my game. And Forza 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What are we at now? 6 or 7?
I couldn't even begin to tell you. The last thing I played as far as a racing game was Gran Turismo 4.
Oh yeah, dude! I learned how to drive in that game. That was 11 years ago. And to unlock every track, you had to do every damn challenge. And the
unlocking
final
that international license, yo.
Sorry, I don't have a camera time. I'm fist bumping and toasting you at the same time. Yeah, that license, and I believe you had to run a variety of classes of Mercedes sedans around. The last one was the Nürburgring. So I had to memorize the entire Nürburgring, and that took me like 3 or 4 months because it's not easy.
Or taking the Viper around Laguna Seca.
Oh
my God.
Yeah, right? The corkscrew with that front end, the weight.
And I'm a rear-wheel drive guy,
There you go. So I'm an Audi guy, and I've been that for about 15 years. So I've been trying to get through these games with Audis. And that doesn't go so great, but I've got an all-wheel, and I've got one parked downstairs. And I love. Okay, Dee bought a new car about 3 weeks ago, right? Oh God, I wish she was here, not in bed behind me. She bought a 2011 Mazda 3. It's white and black accents. It's a Stormtrooper. Like it's
nice.
And the 3s have that smiley face. So as a weird, nice boyfriend, I bought her the car in game. And then I tweaked it up to 486 horsepower. I was like, here you go, check this out. And I put her on a couple of tracks. It's like, but for real, these things are so good. It's like, you're at Daytona, go. It's your car, but it's 400 plus horsepower.
It's a big D ring. You got plenty of room for error. Just take off.
But like, I love Forza so much because the AI is adaptive always. So you never get it easy. It's always going to be just on your ass, and probably you're sitting in 6th or 7th or from the start. So yeah, anyway, that's the game I play.
You're ahead by literally like 400ths of a second.
Yep. And then it starts raining, and then you're screwed. But yeah, corkscrew, like goddamn, that's.
I used to like slow down right in front of it, go hard left, and just chomp the gas and jump the Viper off and land it and crank right to spin out of it. I actually leapt a car doing that one time that was like doing it legit. I went over the top of it.
Nice. So, this reminds me that Bella and I we're putting together a show. Me and Buddy the dinosaur. We want to do it between now and Christmas about what it is to be on online communities. And I've done some good notes, and I think we're going to make it something special.
Okay.
It's about finding people by accident because you like Star Wars, and it's like, oh, you like Star Wars, and you like Halo. It's like, oh, you like Gears of War, and then it turns into these things. I'm not talking video games, even. I'm talking more about like people, but the importance of community. And it's not about Geeks and Gamers or Phantom Menace or Comics Gate necessarily, although some people do gravitate, and that's fine if you're to have different views.
Oh, but, really quick to interrupt you. I'm sorry. Wise guys, take care. Have a good day.
See you, bro. But Kung, by the way, I'm let me take this off for a second. To whomever is watching, I'm Xevious on YouTube. Michael, you pop one in there. How to find you on Twitter, because you do cool shit. And to find you as well, because we do this stuff all day, every day.
Here, I'll throw my Twitter up here on my handle.
Sure. Right. See, look at this. This dude on the Honda. I know exactly what you mean. Like we talk in, well, no, sorry, it's not code. It's yeah. I'm at Xevious on Twitter. Michael is High Desert Comics. You start to find people you get together with who just kind of know in shorthand what you're talking about. And it's a really cool feeling. It's a good way to get through I don't know, my life's pretty awesome mostly, but just, okay. You know, it's one word, corkscrew. It's like, hello. So you ever watch, did you ever watch Top Gear back in the day before they Americanized it?
I didn't actually. I wasn't that big into racing. I caught NASCAR, you know, when it was on, when like there was a football game on I didn't give a crap about. I was switched over to NASCAR.
Yep.
And I enjoyed that kind of stuff. But like my favorite thing is everybody's favorite thing. Like they're on a super speedway going 210 miles an hour. And at some point within 10 laps of the end, somebody's going to make a stupid move and the big one happens.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, ditto.
Takes out 30 people. And some little nobody out of nowhere ends up squeaking up into the top 10. I always end up rooting for that kind of underdog guy. The guy who missed the accident somehow and ended up next to, you know, Kyle Busch and Jamie McMurray. And
So I got to say, yeah, Kung, do the work. Find me on Twitter. Not because I want to follow her, but because we got to talk about whatever sometime. That's what I'm talking about here. But I don't know. What is this called? Are we geek community? Are we creator community?
I think geek can be all encompassing. I mean, we're geeking out about racing games. That's technically a geek out.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I've done shit like get a like a 1970, I'm gonna say 79 Volkswagen Rabbit because it's the lightest car, and then take all the seats out, do this, that, whatever, and then try a track. Like, oh, sure. I mean, let's just say Nürburgring, right? Have a bad time, and then go back and be like, okay, screw it. I'm going to take the good tires off. I'm going to put on the shitty ones so that I can basically screech through it, take my score down by like 20 or 30 points, and add a better air filter. And then I can do that all weekend. And this is the whole time trying to make comic books. So it's a juggle.
I was going to say, are you talking like real life? You want to do this or?
Well, not in the age of Coof, but yes, in real life would be nice too. I've
always wanted to kidnap Stevie Wonder. Take him out to the Salt Flats. Yeah, I've always wanted to kidnap Stevie Wonder. Take him out to the Salt Flats, put him behind the wheel of his own limo, and sit shotgun with him and just let him go nuts.
Okay. I had an invite to drive a car for the Salt Flats. It was a 65, 66 Jaguar E-Type.
Oof. And
go for a land speed record, which, by the way, this is super limited. It's not super fast because there's so many classifications. But that's on the table for me. So I hope that, I don't know, I can't do that this year. But yeah, I like real cars. I've done some good karting. And dirt tracks on tiny little bangers. Like lawnmowers, basically.
Yep.
And then there's an indoor one not far from me that I haven't done for 4 or 5 years. And they slick up the cement so that when you hit, your apex or whatever, it's gonna slide if you don't take it off, because they've matched the tires with the surface. So yeah, but then it's weird because you go home and play Gran Turismo, and it reacts about the same as a real life.
Oh, I've got a rooster tail story, Kung.
Yeah, go for it.
But it has nothing to do with a rally road.
Okay.
I was married to my first wife, and her dad gave us a car, a 77 Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme.
Nice.
Big old 2-door land yacht. It was beautiful.
That's a V8, right?
I honestly don't know, because I'm not that much of a gearhead, and I didn't think to ask at the time.
Okay.
But out here where I live, in between two of the towns on the back road, instead of the highway, there's a side road you can take that we all just called Roller Coaster Road.
Yep.
Because it's got like 4 really good just dips going on in it. And it's got a front bench seat, and I had 2 of my friends sitting up front with me. And coming back from Christmas shopping, actually, came back, decided, I'm going to hit Roller Coaster Road. There wasn't any precipitation on the ground at the time. It didn't freeze or anything like that. So I ramped that fucker up. And by the time we're coming off the second jump, we're hitting with enough impact to leave a rooster tail of sparks from the rear bumper.
Yep. Nice.
And it just, I'm kind of catching it in the rear view going, oh my God, that's amazing. And I'm looking down at the speedometer. Here's the thing about the stock Cutlass Supreme. The speedometer pegs out at 90. So I don't actually know how fast I was going.
Okay. Nice.
And then right at the end of it, there's this, you got to slow brake. You got to hard brake and keep her straight, because there's a 20-mile-an-hour curve to the left right at the end of it. And right as I'm coming out of that curve, actually doing about 35, because I'm rounding that square off, there is a cop sitting. He watched this whole thing happen. He pulled me over. He's like, you have any idea how fast you were going? And I was like, I have no clue. That pegs out at 90, man. He was more impressed than anything. He gave me a speeding ticket for going like 10 over instead of, a felony, thank God. But he was impressed that I didn't just slam this car into the trees that were on the far side of this curve.
It's well done, man. It's cool.
Hey, I may not be a mechanic, but I'm a hell of an operator.
I think it's great. We've got like crazy people talking. I mean, hang on a second. Jen Will, who let us know where are you? That's a how do I say? That's an exotic name, dude. Are you sound like an F1 guy or a soccer guy, and I like both.
You'll have to excuse me for just a moment. I have got a bathroom break. There's 2 of these down.
What are those?
Double Pendletons and Coke.
Nice.
All right, be right back.
So yeah, Jean-Will, we were talking, I think last week with the same crew here, mostly the Falcon XB was a Ford thing that was only available in Australia, as far as I know. We didn't have anything like it here whatsoever. Like my first car was a 72 Mustang, and it was sort of a middle one. So it was a 6, not an 8, and it had the huge nose. And we were doing dream car talk, like say a couple of weeks ago. I'm wondering, was that like an exotic, like a super exotic? Because I mean, in that show, I think those are all supercharged, just bananas muscle cars, and yeah, that's neat. And then back to this Mercedes follower. I had a phase of following F1, like hardcore, set my alarm and missed 0 races per season. And the last couple of years, I caught the last race, loved it. I caught the one before that with the walkaway. I clipped the video of that amazing, oh shoot, and the name's escaping me off the top of my tongue. tip of my tongue. But do you mean following the brand or following the team? I've kind of lost. There's been so many hustles and shakeups with Formula One. Oh God, going back 5 years now, and most of all, like Fernando has been my guy since 2009. So it's a little less fun without him because I don't know, he was a really fun wild card, but really technical. So he would come in 14, 12, and then 2, then back down, then back up again. And I miss I miss Alonso. But yeah, other than that, I think what was it not Bahrain wrapped up on Sunday. So we are again taking a break. We're taking a break from Mandalorian. It's I don't know. It's a good time for finding some other stuff to do. Thank you. Yes, that's the guy. Any other F1 people? Who is your dude? I would say Alonso, number 1, for the win every time. We've got a new Schumacher, which is really cool. I forget his name. It's something. Is that a Gil Gabe something? So yeah, Jen will send me the link on Twitter. If we're not on Twitter together, go find me. But the 3rd generation Schumacher is back on, and that's the Haas team. And oh God, there's that new thing. There's the guy who touched his girlfriend's breasts in the back of the car from the front, and that's with the Haas team. I don't know if he got. Well, I hope he's all right. There's a big movement to cancel him. I don't think that happened actually. So I hope he's still there. Yes, correct. Holy cow!
Dude got
So
me too.
Back to you guys. I can't believe what an interesting chat this is. That we came to talk about Mandalorian, and I've got an international bunch of people want to talk about like Formula One.
That's because it's like mid-afternoon for them.
That's true. But being Machiavellian as I am, or according to Buddy, I disagree mostly. But I'm here to sell books and have some fun and be an artist. Do I want to have an F1 chat? Well, I do. So of course I do. Cool.
It's midnight for you. Oh, it's midnight tomorrow for you though. If you're in Australia,
Mm-hmm.
it's like
funny.
Sunday for you. Yeah.
I know it's like 2 days in the future for these Aussies.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not talking.
Sorry, go ahead.
I know. I was going to say Aussies are my favorite people. I spent a couple years on a game development thing, and the time zone stuck with me, and then it's just getting wackier now. But this Lethal Lightning with this Bancroft fella, yeah, I like the Aussies. They're all right.
Yeah.
Yep, they're okay. Let's see here. So Kung says, yes, well, there you go, man. Dude, Sonoma. I'm part-time San Diego, not too far from that, sometime LA, and for the last year, northern reaches of Canada. But yeah, I've been there, done that. That's good. But are you on a racing team? Because that'd be very cool.
Or is he saying that in the sense of, oh, my team is this team?
Okay. Yeah.
You said you like soccer. No, I'm just aware of its existence. I'm not necessarily a fan of it. And I'm of the Matt Damon school of that I agree that it's like the most endurance, exhausting kind of sport you could possibly have. But I really do not follow it. My sport that I follow is American football. I played that in high school. I'm a big fan of that now. Hell, I even tune into Canadian football once in a while.
Okay. So now I'm learning. I mean, I've only been meeting Americans for the last 3 years since moving, right? Because I'm locked up north. I'm thinking That's college ball for you, probably not NFL.
Both. I do pay some attention to college ball, especially right now. There's the college championships happening right now. Big important playoff runs are happening for teams in the NFL that are trying to get there.
Mhm.
Those playoffs won't start until January, late January.
Okay. Cool. I want to try to play along. I've been on some pretty neat live streams. I'm assuming you know Antonio Bryce.
Seen him around in a few chats, yes.
Okay, yeah. He's fantastic. He does books with Canon White. The name of, I think they're on their third book now. It escapes me. Apologies to you guys if you catch this. And I was on the show early on in this whole entanglement with Buddy and stuff with Sins of the Fae. And within like 2 minutes, and they're both Southern, right? And when you put two Southern guys together, the accents come up like big time. And they started talking college ball. And I'd gotten up early, stayed up late, whatever, to be on this thing. And they talk football. It's like, I don't know anything you guys are saying.
Yeah, if you're not into football at all, it's easy to get completely lost in that kind of conversation. Yeah.
No, it was fine. I mean, I was not into it, but it's just like, I have nothing to add here because you're like, and by the way, and Antonio has he's like gigantic, hugest voice, hugest smile. I'll go big dude. And he just was going off about the weekend and the football. And then Buddy got into it with him too. I'm like, I've never heard a single name you guys are talking about. I pretty much hit mute and went for a walk for 50 minutes to see if it would go back to comics. And it didn't, by the way. So good on them. But it was, that was fun. But no, I'm hockey. That's my thing. Canada, go for
it. Big surprise, X.
Right. So some dude had a rookie card for Wayne Gretzky. And my American friends don't even know who that is. Well, about 50-50. Do you?
I absolutely know who Wayne Gretzky is. In fact, he's the reason your stream got struck a couple weeks ago.
Okay, well, yeah, back to that. That's right, yeah. So some dude had a... Sorry.
Bad about that because I suggested that to you. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm going to give you the con for 1 minute. My turn. Right back. Talk to this chat here.
I always think it's funny when we're taking a look at the live numbers versus the numbers in an hour, because right now it says there's 4 people, and that's probably, let's see, that's Genwell, that's W Kung, a couple other lurkers. I'm thinking I don't know, but and then take a look at the view numbers in an hour, and it's at 50 already.
Really? That's interesting.
It was last week. It was crazy.
Yeah, we're doing something interesting here. I mean, we don't have a real big plan, but
not after the initial Mandalorian discussion. No, just kind of listen to whatever the chat starts talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm cool with that if you are.
Oh, totally. Yeah, it's weird. I mean, I was, after a couple of years of following, I've been on YouTube. Sorry, I haven't been on YouTube and listening to it, watching it, taking in what I can. And I've watched a lot of streams hit the 500,000, even million view, sub mark. And I don't see a pattern. Someone was saying that watch hours now matters way more than your subs.
Oh, yeah.
If you can have engagement, because if people can show up and then just stick around, and all you awesome people who are still here, it's worth coming back and doing it again and again.
Oh, and especially if you start getting like a dedicated core of followers too. You know, like Genmel's been on here a couple of times. W. Kung's been on here. These are names I'm starting to recognize in this chat in particular.
Yep. Yeah, and it's very similar to Twitter. Like some of the people who I've got some really interesting. I don't want to drop any names. I've got some big followers, some check marks and whatnot on Twitter, and I don't pander for the Twitter stuff. I just kind of do my thing, and when it happens, it happens. It's really cool. I think Twitter's a lot the same. It's like sort of winning hearts and minds, as opposed to just.
It's my main method of communication and keeping in touch with all of the Comicsgate and Fandom Menace people too. So that it's been really useful for me in that regard. I don't like doing it on like Facebook because Facebook is like people I know around me, people I met in my bartending career, bands that like showed and played at my venue, and members of those bands that I know, regulars of the bar, crew of the bar, that kind of thing. So there's like about 220 people on my Facebook, and it's all people I've met face to face in real life kind of situation. Mm-hmm. And it's a completely different crowd than I hang out with online.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, like out of the 225 people, there's probably maybe 2 or 3 that give even a single shit about comic books or geek culture at all.
Yep. Yeah, let's talk about it. In fact, I had a really interesting crossover because, and I want to do this live. It's all good, but I'm how do I say this humbly? I'm a 30-year. You and me are about the same age. Someone who's a pillar of the downtown music community, is also part of the club scene, passed away a few days ago, and I was devastated. So I painted him and I put it up because that's what I do, right? You see my Twitter,
mm-hmm.
and I hope people listening have seen that too. And we don't know all the circumstances, so suddenly my Facebook fucking blew up, and then I started getting tons of likes, friends requests, whatever. Now I've used Facebook for comic things, and I've got a very select group of people because we have that as a backup. Like Rob Burnett got kicked off Twitter, I think last night before, but we work together, so DMs. Jeremy, Geeks and Gamers, we talk over there. It doesn't matter. There's about a half dozen,
mm-hmm.
but it starts to creep into my real life, which is okay. But I got ex-wife 1, ex-wife 2, new girlfriend, current, new girlfriend, almost ex-husband going on. And then my Instagram, which I very rarely use. And I talk to other artists because it's a better way to promote just pure art than Twitter even. And they're all starting to kind of blur together. So I need to probably step back from it because I don't want the two to mix. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like to keep what social circles I have kind of separate.
Exactly.
Like yep. I used to go to church, but hang out with rock bands, and those are two groups that never really mesh. So, but yet I'm a part of both circles, so I just kind of keep them away from each other, kind of thing.
Okay, yeah, I need to think about that myself. Again, this is neat.
Reroll. I'm drunk as shit.
Yeah, I drank like a liter of wine since the show came on. But we're all men here, and ladies, by the way. But are we cerebral? I don't know. We're just dudes who talk kind of slow. It's good.
Like I said, I think it's the fact that we all play off each other from different angles that works out for it. You know, we all seem like an intelligent group because the three of us together kind of lift each other up.
Yep. Well, I'll tell you what I'll say is like I'm 95% artist, but I'm a writer, and my degree's in communication, which is writing. It's not what I enjoy. Buddy is 90% writer, and he's really, really good. And then how would you categorize yourself?
Oof, I'm a lore guy.
Okay.
Like, the only reason I don't want to die is because I want to see what happens the next day.
Okay, I like that.
I'm that guy. I want to be immortal because I want to find out what happens next. So when I get into something that like has an ongoing thing, or even something that is completely done and over with, I'll binge throughout the whole thing because I want to I want to absorb that world and see how it goes. Just finished the Supernatural finale a few days ago and was like, okay, well, that story's finally come to an end. That's move on to something else now. And it's always a little rough to find something. I'm kind of a closet weeb.
Mhm.
I'm a big anime fan, but I haven't seen a lot of like the quote unquote underground more anime. I've seen a lot of the popular stuff, obviously, like Dragon Ball Z, Full Metal Alchemist, that kind of thing. But there's been some niche stuff that I've really liked too. Shield Hero was one of those. I thought that was a really good one. I'm not going to say shit about Supernatural. I know it just did its thing. So, yeah, the last of it is on Netflix now. I guess I don't know where you're at or whether that affects it. W. Kung said they're in the U.S., right? Ken was from Australia. Did X freeze out? And now I'm terrified because I'm with you all. Macross?
Check.
Oh yeah. Macross is
Check
awesome.
Am I back?
There you are.
Cool. So I haven't told you this, but I'm learning as a amateur YouTuber of a matter of weeks or if not less than a couple months. And then Twitter is always a wild social experiment. So what to share, what to not, and then to try and keep family, kids, whatever, life out of it, and then be discreet between your different social media. But I'm working on a movie with a good friend who's LA director, producer, and he was involved in all of the primary episodes of Supernatural going back a decade. And we have a thing we're working on.
Is it Eric?
You're
not at liberty to say. You're not okay. It's okay.
No,
sorry.
Well, actually, no. Let me just be blunt. I'm working on something huge with Robert Meyer Burnett, and I'm on NDA, so I won't talk about that. But I can't wait because we're going to, and we're going to do it. We were going to do it sometime this month or next month. It might get pushed out. That's fine. I won't share. Another guy.
Is it Axonar?
No, I'm not. No.
Damn.
No, I will not disappoint on that one. But that's a thing, and that's a standard agreement. But I've got another friend who. Okay, well, I can actually. You know what? I have no. So there's a guy named. His name's Nick Kopis. He directed. I think the thing I'm proudest of. I helped him get his job with the CW for the pilot of Arrow, 6, maybe 7 years ago, and then he did a ton of Arrow episodes, and all the good ones are him.
And we've got the best one out of all those shows.
What's that?
And it was still the best one out of all those shows.
Totally, man. Yep. And I mean, I keep it. I try to keep it real. Like I was doing a show with Buddy, and I was reviewing Batwoman last year, but I watched everyone. I took notes, just same as we're doing with Mandalorian. And every week I'd come back and be like, "Fuck, dude, this is just this and this and this and this and this and this checkbox." I give it a nothing, But anyhow, so no, Nick Kopis, check him out on IMDb. Really fascinating guy. We talk a lot, and we've got a really, really good book and movie that we should probably turn into. Are kind of working on turning into a graphic novel. And it's not secret. It's just it's a cool idea. Hollywood is.
His name is spelled all screwy.
Yeah.
Is that Eastern European right there? Or?
Kopis? No, it's yep, it's pretty normal. Kung, good to meet you, bro. Yes, Arrow is fucking great. The first season was so good. And again, we can poke holes all day. Not on this show, but like the makeup comes on, then goes back off. Whether the mask is there or not, it makes no sense, but I don't care because I love it. It's really good. Yep.
Oh, okay. I spelled the name wrong.
Yeah.
Dresden Files?
Yes, that's him too.
Nice. I loved that
Oh,
series.
right.
I've got all the Jim Butcher books too.
Nice. So I had a piece of that stuff and a few things. Well, I think the best one, most exciting one with the best name, Painkiller Jane. You know that? So that's
Yep.
Nick. Again, the pilot, if I'm not mistaken.
God damn it, what was her name? Same chick who played in P3.
Yep. Met her.
Oh, shit.
If only we had some way to. Oh, fuck. Yeah.
Not Claire Danes, the TX Terminator chick. Damn it, what was her name? She was in like one of the Dungeons and Dragons movies too.
I know. I don't want to cheat, but I'm gonna, because we're live.
Starts with a Kristana Loken. Ha!
Yeah. Yep.
I remembered it.
And I met her at Comic-Con a couple years ago, San Diego.
She was also Blood Rain. That's right.
I know. Fuck. Okay. That game, that ID. I mean, I've designed all the stuff for Buddy because we've got vampires, witches, whatever, and I've had pretty good. Like I'm doing okay, but character design as good as that, like just sadly, I don't know how you do it that good. Like a red Bob with, yeah, I love Blood Rain. I don't know who did that initially, but it's so damn good.
Yeah, I'm just checking out his stuff right now. Yeah, just on the front page of the Google search. 4400 Painkiller Jane, EastEnders. EastEnders? That's kind of random in the middle of this other stuff.
I know, right?
Alphas. I remember that one.
That was really good.
Which Nikita?
The second one.
The second one? Okay.
It's really good too.
I saw all of the first one because of what's her name, Bill Wilson. She was awesome in that. I didn't get to see a lot of the next one. That was Maggie Q.
Yep.
Which I really liked her in that one Die Hard movie. I have a Twitch account, Genwell, but I've never used it.
Yeah, same here. I wouldn't know what to do. Like, well, you know what? I would, I guess, but I've got so many hours in the day. And when I first started this channel, I did a channel for a bit, or sorry, well, not a channel so much as a show. It's called Driving with Buddy, because I like Buddy. We do this a couple hours a day anyway. And I bought like Big Rig Simulator on Steam, and I'd be like, hey, I'm gonna call it Buddy from the truck, and then just drive around, which is I still think kind of fun. It didn't work, but it was like, let's drive a load of fertilizer from like Fort Worth to Bakersfield, and it would take like a few hours. It's kind of a half-assed dumb idea, but so yeah, Genwell. What, do I have a Canadian accent? I don't think so, because I've been in California enough, but maybe not.
I have heard you say a boot.
That's because I drink a lot.
It slipped a little bit, but it's never prevalent.
Well, plus, I mean, I hang around with Dee, who has the most insane.
And she does it too, which is weird to see.
Well, she's like Eastern Canada, and then as Buddy says, she's got a fair bit of like, how do I say it? She puts a hand on one hip and puts the other hand sort of. There's a lot of Shaniqua in D.
Shaniqua?
Just a sassy, well, like a sassy black, yeah, like that, and then you put a Minnesota accent on top of that, which is American again. So I don't know, but I won't.
You bet. Check yourself. You betcha.
Yeah, that's right.
No, I didn't realize, like, because when I was growing up, like most of my pop culture input came from like movies my dad put in the VCR kind of thing. And my dad was now that I'm looking back on it over the years kind of thing, my dad was kind of a movie buff.
Nice.
He watched a lot of different stuff, Bill Murray comedies, Stripes, my God, every time he came home from a truck run, which he was a 48 state hauler, so it was like 2 days a month he was home.
I don't want to interrupt, but so your dad's a trucker then?
He was, yes.
Nice.
He's retired now.
Yep.
But like every time he came home, one of the movies was definitely Stripes with Bill Murray, Harold Ramis, and the tricked out Army RV. John Candy. God, that was... And I saw it so many times that like I inadvertently had like most of the lines memorized.
Okay.
And this was me at like 7 or 8 years old. But he watched a lot of stuff, and that included like things like Boys in the Hood, Colors, all the way to like Lethal Weapon, Die Hard. He had a pretty eclectic taste in his stuff. And that was my experience with pop culture and kind of my expectation of the reality of these people in these cultures kind of situation.
Okay, that's neat.
So you can imagine my surprise the first time I caught a BBC broadcast of it was a news program, and it was, okay, we're going live to the scene now with our in the field correspondent, Derek, and it was an African last name. It was Utombo or something like that. And it's this black guy in a suit standing there. And after having seen Colors and Boys in the Hood and those kind of movies, my only experience is like, I'm expecting gangster speak. Yeah. And when this guy spoke with like this clipped British accent and was the most polite man in the world. Yes, we're standing here in front of Windsor Castle this morning, and today the Parliament is adjourned. And it's like, watching a British accent come out of a black man when I'm like 9 years old was one of the most mind-blowing things I'd ever freaking seen. So when I look at Dee and see her say things like, don't you know, and a boot, it tickles the shit out of me.
Yeah, I get you.
Because I don't know why, but there's these expectations we have when we see somebody and then like expect like a way for them to talk.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I totally get you. I mean, I could go so deep down that one. The my first time in Atlantic City about 15, 20 years ago, and at a smoking, just like the nicest restaurant, doing a work thing, and I people don't match their voices in big cities. So Vegas, Atlantic City, Minneapolis, and that really opened my mind to this whole world, which I only got into in the last year and a half or two on Twitter, where I run into somebody who looks like something, sounds like something, and then they do something totally incongruous with it. And I really love that. I really embracing this idea of doing what we're all doing, whoever we are. I mean, we are we're Fandom Menace, but
we are you people.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we're the people you want to hang around with, for sure. And it's so easy to find them. Like, I'm not sure if you're on the stream yet when I said that. So what I like doing is I work all night. Like, I think you do too. Your wife's up at probably pretty soon.
Yeah, she's actually up now. She has to go in a little early, so she's getting ready.
Yep. And I like listening to British talk radio, phone-in radio, to get a jump on the day. And I'm painting. I'm working on, a couple of books. And there was a thing that happened last night, and there's just, again, I don't want to get into pub lockdowns, restaurant lockdowns again and again and again. Maybe I should get into that, but you have to be careful. I don't want to say the word of what it is. And I just thought, gosh darn it, I miss going to the pub with friends, which is right, you're the bartender guy. Mm-hmm. And it's on my Twitter. Checked it out. And I just thought, there's a 61-year-old presenter named Mike Graham. His show's called Talk Radio. I don't know if he's going to catch this. He runs 10. He's like the Gary Bigler, of London. He's actually in the Tower of London broadcasting. And I just said, God damn, I miss going for a beer with my mates. And he retweeted me immediately. And that one, and I thought, this is insane. And so if you want to, well, sorry, you know what I look like, but I'm not on this show. And I just thought that I can reach to this group of people. It only took me about a minute, if less than that, to reach an entirely different audience. And I think that's when I say we people or you people, we can talk to everybody if we're, it's so cheesy, but like if we're good people, we're positive people.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I miss going to the pub for a beer. And then to have a radio host in the UK put that to their audience. It's totally bizarre.
I bet they all miss smoking in pubs too, because they took that away about like 10 years ago or so.
About 10, yeah. You can't smoke in pubs anywhere near you, right?
It's a trickle down law. It's one of those trickle down laws. You can or can't if you want to. If you, where I was at, it was a music venue as well as just a bar. We had kind of a dual set of paperwork going for that.
Yep.
So because we had music venue stuff and we had under 21 in for those shows, we could not have smoking at all at any time in the place. But regular, if it's just a bar where there's dart boards and pool tables and stuff like that, you can still if you want to.
Wow, that's really interesting. We lost that stuff in 2009. This is about 11 years ago. But I mean, again, I don't want to get on the, like, we lost menthol cigarettes 4 years ago, which sucks for me because Marlboro Green, that's my jam. And then we lost cigarette branding about 6 months ago.
Yeah, you showed me those packs. I'm like, what the hell are those?
And to anyone listening or watching, smoking's terrible. But if you, I like it as a personal choice thing, not as a government says you can do this, as opposed to not. So. Yes, Kung. Exactly. This is what we do here.
Yeah, if you're not drinking, you're not in right now. Yeah.
I mean, I know non-drinkers, but if you're drinking a Pepsi, good for you. That's fine. But a virtual pub is what we need to get through this stuff. As you know, like rolling lockdowns is what we have here in Canada, and that's going through all of Europe. You're pretty safe in your state, as far as, I mean, I'm no expert, but
we're decently solid red states, and we've been a lot less lax in a lot of the restrictions that have been applied.
Yep.
And I don't just mean for the beer bug stuff. It's just in general.
Yep. So I'm very fortunate to have a lovely person in my life who you've spoken to a fair bit by now.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been talking about this for, God, we got together like 4 months ago. And her sister's in, she's in Texas. So we've got a good hookup there. And the idea of getting the fuck out of Dodge and Texas, Arizona is kind of where I want to put myself in the next, a couple of years. It's realistic. Like, it's very realistic, actually, once, the world goes back to normal a little bit. So
I don't know how normal it's ever going to get, because again, I don't want to bring the mood down, but this is just a very stark reminder of things like when the U.S. passed the Patriot Act, the power it gave to, government agencies, government law enforcement agencies that they've never given up, and they're not going to, because we gave it to them. And even though the threat that spawned that act has diminished, they're not going to get rid of their restrictions or their power to return things back to what we would have called normal.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this might be a test for the same kind of thing.
Do you want to get into this? I want to speak to Jen Will first. And I think that's awesome, man. Oh. I know, right?
The wife has to take off.
I love you.
Oh.
Say hi, X.
Hi, X.
Good morning. Have an awesome day. It's good to see you again. We should do this every day.
Not every day, man. My schedule couldn't accommodate that.
Oh, God, I know. Yeah, like I was talking to Buddy Lord this morning. This morning, saying like, dude, we can't do it today. And then I watched it. I was like, fuck. He's like, okay, we have to do it. And D was like, I'm out. That's it. Because it slays the next day. But to bring it back up, man, that's the best piece of Star Wars I've seen in.
Oh, absolutely. Like, no doubt. I still think the previous episode was a little better. This one was definitely more fan servicey and spoke to my inner child more. But like the technical looking at it standpoint and kind of the critical eye, I think the last one was a little better.
Mm-hmm.
Honey, chat says hi.
Oh. So
chat says hi.
Chat says hi. Tell Chat I said hi.
They can hear you.
Oh, okay. Hi, guys.
hey, hola.
See you.
As we say in Canada.
Hola.
All right, drive safe, honey.
I will try.
Right.
It's icy out there. A really bad day.
Okay, just take it slow.
Ice. It's icy.
Yeah, we had just enough of a snow dusting 2 days ago to make the roads absolutely crappy. And we're in a town that like spent all its budget on street lights as opposed to saving some of it for winter services.
Gravel and salt and yeah. Huh. See, man, we're living this upside down world. I'm in Calgary. I'm in northern Alberta, whatever. We have no ice, no snow. Nothing is going as it's supposed to. It's just super, super weird. Dry roads. And it's like late December.
Yeah, a bunch of it like melted yesterday during the day because we ended up with cloud cover and a good strong like UV imprint from the sun. So a lot of it melted, but then the clouds went away right at sunset and everything just froze solid.
Yeah. Right? And then it freezes and then it's like it sucks till it gets warm again. And hopefully it's warm enough to I gotcha.
As my mom would say, it's slicker than goose shit sliding through a tin horn.
Nice.
My mom's from Tennessee. So.
That sounds very Tennessee.
Yeah, my dad's from Northern California. My mom's from Tennessee. I ended up with a weird eclectic mix of values.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Wow, this chat is just, guys. I look at big shows and I'll be watching Ethan going like, I can't keep up, or whoever.
That's why he just looks at the super chats at that point, and I get it.
That's where you get, yeah. But like, this is a hell of a chat. I want to thank everybody here for just like being awesome. This is really neat. I'm a big fan of like Ashiro Finney. He's a writer, author. You probably know him.
I don't recognize the name, but I probably know the stuff.
He's sort of got to that place where he's got like just enough engagement where he feels like clicking on the camera and just going. And he's lazy. It's like 1 a.m. and he just like reads chats and just talks about aliens and spaceships and Bigfoot.
I get that shit too. I watched the Exozone with Gary and Doomcock.
I know. That's really cool. This channel has, I don't know, less than 10 videos, but I figure with just a little tiny tipping point, I can do this with people who are really awesome, like Mike here, like Buddy, who unfortunately has a real day job, and then we just do this and chat, and there's nowhere to go but up. There really is there's no down point for something like this.
How can the two humans waste their time all night like this, but the dinosaur has to go to work?
Right? Yeah.
I think I captured his cousin in Ark.
Oh, and then for everybody catching us late, I've got a cold. My voice is half what it ought to be, but I'll live. And friend suggested tea, but I went for red wine.
That is so not going to help.
I know. But, well, no, it's warm and comforting, and what are we going to do?
Oof.
So,
Here I go. I popped the cork. I'm sorry. I'll be right back. Yeah. Genwil, W. Kung, throw in a question or two.
Yeah, go for it. Do. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, it's on the nose, but I think we all wanted on the nose. I think on the nose is what I don't go down the. I don't want to talk about the Disney sequel trilogy. I want to go down the what do you love about Star Wars? And I'm assuming we're talking about the last episode of Mandalorian. Yes, it is a bit on the nose. But yes, it felt right. Yes, what else would you do with Grogu? Because we need to have Mandalorian go off to his season 3, episode 1, his new thing. And they nailed it. And what more satisfying way could they possibly do that than having him go off with Luke? So I loved it. And yeah, I mean, come on, man. Grogu touches Mando's face, Mando's eyes welled up. Everything about that was, for lack of a better way to say it, fucking awesome. Loved it. Loved it. Loved it. Did it bring out the kid in all of us? Yeah. Yeah, it did. Or, I don't know. I'm, as a, I'll say middle-aged person, like my co-host here as well, we've had kids and wives and things come and go in our lives. It's not just the kid; it's bringing out the spirit in all of us, the love and the joy. Yep, man, your interactions on here are awesome. It's good to meet you, frankly, and you're welcome. And yeah. I know, General. Thank you. Okay, I got both in the cupboard. Yeah, but it's not a cliffhanger. We closed off a few main story points, and I'm just again thrilled because we have the Mando is now free of babysitting. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm just saying that was his function for a while. He's no longer doing that. I mean, fucking, it's Skywalker has Grogu. Who in the world, who in the universe would you rather have in charge of Grogu, right? And I'd rather say Baby Yoda, but anyhow, that's awesome.
I was actually,
Exactly.
Luke was the top choice, but I also kind of expected Ezra, who
That
was
would've been
like
cool.
the main character from Rebels.
Oh my goodness. Jen Will, you're 19. That is welcome.
That's nowhere near middle age.
No.
I'm
That's good.
middle-aged.
We're middle-aged. But
I just turned 43 like 3 days ago.
Well, dude, we missed that? Come on. That should have been on Facebook or sorry, Twitter.
I don't.
Happy birthday.
I actually did throw it out there. It was kind of a shitpost tweet. It was like, on this day, God's greatest gift to mankind was thrown upon this planet.
Dude, it matters not at all.
I don't tend to take my birthday as a big deal. And conversely, don't feel bad if I forget yours because of the way I treat mine.
Yeah, it's kind of a... Oh, okay, I'm going to tell a story. It's spin a yarn. So my best friend in the world is a girl I dated back in college. In fact, you know what? I'm not going to spin the yarn. I'm just going to make it quick because it's boring. Beautiful girl. She's a beer. You know what a beer? Do you have beer tub girls where you are?
I'm sorry, say it again.
Do you have like beer tub girls?
Beer tub girls? I don't think so.
Yeah,
if I do, we call them something else.
So beer tub girls are in like ranch house bars, country bars. So beer tub girls are pretty close to strippers.
So kind of, God, what is that called? Coyote Ugly style?
Bingo. Yep. So
Okay, we
usually
got
fake
one of those
boobs,
places here. Yeah.
Yep. Fake boobs, false eyelashes, blonde, cut off cowboy boots.
All the
This
right
is
kinds of trashy.
all the right kinds of trashy. And my first, no, not my, anyway, a late 90s true love. And then we dated for a bit. We fell off. We did whatever, but we still, that's my best friend. So my birthday, just in July this year, she's like, hey, what are you doing? Because we're, it's the coof, And I went over to her place and we drank Jack Daniels and Old Milwaukee beer till the sun came up. And I posted on Facebook. And then that triggered D, who I haven't seen for 20 fucking years, to say, hey, and you know how D talks.
Mhm.
So I heard it in my voice after 20 years. I was like, hey, how are you? And that's where this whole thing got rolling from. So now we're shacking up and doing stuff. Fingers crossed on all hands. I don't know, how do you say it?
All engines firing green right now.
It's so good, man. She'll be back next Thursday for sure. My point is lost after like the second bottle of wine. But you never know what's going to lead you to the one thing to the next, You just don't. Like, so, okay, you've been with your girl for, I think you said almost 20 years?
Just about 20 years now, yeah.
That is so cool.
Married for 13 of them.
Nice.
Oh, wait, no, we had this conversation a couple of days ago because I mentioned it last stream. It's 12.
Mhm.
It's 12 years, anniversary in August.
That's so cool. Nice. And that's the kind of show we want to have where we talk about Star Wars, Formula One, and how to meet girls.
Oh, I've got the story of how I met Christy.
Well, go for it.
It's actually kind of funny because I was living with a friend of mine at the time. It was after my first marriage, a good, I don't know, about a year afterwards. I was out on my own, me and a friend. We were kind of roommating it up to save money sort of situation. He was flamingly gay, but yet didn't come out. It was like obviously apparent to anybody who ever met him, but he never came out. In fact, we played in the same D&D group together, and I was kind of one of the inspirations for him to go ahead and come out because like everybody teased him about being gay, and he's like, "Shut up, guys." While we were sitting in the apartment talking one day, it's like, dude, everybody knows if you just came out, I guarantee the shit talking would stop. I think it comes down to, messing with you because you just won't say it. And that's exactly what happened. He came out like a week later, officially to the D&D group, and everybody's like, okay, sit down and roll your fucking attack roll, asshole. It's your turn. Nobody gave a shit. Okay, so at this point, he's out. He's openly gay. And while I'm staying with him, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, so the bars have closed. And he worked at a 24-hour diner. And so they're getting that post-bar rush coming in. And it's these people who come, grab a quick scrambled egg or bacon eggs or whatever and take off. And he calls me on the phone. And this is the days of landlines. So I pick up, I'm like, because I see the phone number is the restaurant. I'm like, what do you want, Brian? And he's, hey, I need you to come down here. There's this girl who's here. Her friends ditched her. Can you come hang out with her to make her not feel lonely for a while? And I'm looking around. It's 1 a.m. I got shit to do. I'm like, okay, sure. I'll be down there in like 10 minutes, walking distance. I get down there. He meets me at the door and says, hey, don't try anything with this one. I've been working on this one for a while. And he is openly gay. So I give him the weirdest look, obviously. And he's, no, just trust me. what the hell ever, dude. And there's Christy sitting in a 6-person booth by herself.
Mm-hmm.
And I meet her, shake hands. Hey, how's it going? I sit in the opposite side of the booth and we start talking and instantly click. And like
Nice.
within 10 minutes, we are like each other's life stories, laughing and talking about random shit. And I kind of like leaned across the table to her. I was like, it's kind of funny. I wanted to tell you, it's like the guy who invited me up here to talk to you to keep you company, he's my roommate. And he wanted me to not try anything with you because he says he's been working on this for a while. And she looked at him. You mean the gay guy?
Yeah.
I was like, that's how readily apparent it was for everybody. He was a little mad at me for like a day before I hooked him up with somebody else that I knew.
Nice.
But on that first day, like we hung out, talked until like almost 6 a.m. from the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
I walked her home from the restaurant. We met again the next night, and it was just no looking back from that point on. It took me forever to propose to her because I was gun shy. I mean, my youngest, who's 16 now, she was 3 at the time when I proposed, and that was 7 years into the relationship, just about.
Yeah, dude, that's so rad. And it's funny, and I totally get it. And by the way, she's always like moving around quickly in the background. But like, it looks like your gal looks like my gal. Like she's got like long, crazy, fake colored hair to her ass. Am I right?
I actually gave her a trim a few days ago. So
No way, shut up.
Yeah, a little bit. It's like right here now.
Oh, I just did that for D a couple days ago. And I confidently took off the split ends, the whatever. But like D's hair, because she wears, we do, she doesn't want to mess with it when we do a show. And she's into the cosplay and wigs and whatever we got. I won't, it's freaky, but freaky's good. But
I'm okay with freaky.
D's got like black, red, white, striped hair to her hip bones. I love it. And then when we do a show, she's like, whoop. It takes her like 1 minute. So it's the kind of shit that you and me, could never do because we're guys. And then she puts on that the black one. Although she's done her hair like that too. But yeah, because it looks like your wife's got like purple hair to like her hips, right?
It was to mid back, and now it's to just about here. But yeah, purple.
Nice. Oh, that's awesome. I don't want to get weird.
She just sent me a message telling me she made it safe to work.
Nice. Well, with ice, that's good to know. So how do we have the biggest chat I've ever like seen on a impromptu show with like 3 viewers? It's bizarre.
I don't know that it's the biggest, but it's certainly the most active.
It's crazy. Thank you.
They're back to talking about the Mandalorian while we're talking about relationships.
Yeah. We should probably stop this.
It's like it's the chat that's staying on task right now.
Pretty much, yeah. My bad.
So yeah, I'm going to roll up a bit here because what early predictions for the series finale?
Yeah, call some out.
It's getting up about 20 chats there. Yeah. What are your early predictions for the series finale? I honestly couldn't tell you. I think Bo-Katan gets control of Mandalore at some point. Either she accepts that Din just hands her the blade, or he lets her knock him out. Because I don't think he wants to run shit. He doesn't seem like that kind of guy who wants to run anything. I want the series to be running for decades unless they mess up the season opener.
I don't think they're going to roll up the stories. They're going to keep it going for as long as they can. And I mean that in the brightest and most positive way. Like it's good. It's really, really good. And they can write anything you want to.
It's under Imperial control, right? It's implied that it is. I can't be certain. It's definitely not in the Mandalorian's control.
Mm-hmm.
He's definitely a character important to the broader Star Wars lore. I kind of hope he doesn't stay that way. I really like the what did Buddy call us? The Gunsmoke episode structure.
It's very Gunsmoke.
You know,
and it's also
just very a dude who lives in the world, you know.
Yep. And he moves on. And in a lot of ways that's really very real. It's very Gunsmoke, it's very Lone Ranger, it's very it's very Star Trek actually, original.
Mm-hmm.
Where we got a thing to do, we got to go to a planet. We got these guys fighting these guys, we got to do a thing. We do it, we move on, and we have really good quips about it, and we wink at the camera and we move on. That's why it's so good. It's
a hard balance to strike with overarching story and monster, quote unquote, monster of the week. Mm-hmm. And those episodes always end up getting called filler for some damn reason. And like, no, every single episode, there has been something that has advanced the Mandalorian's journey in some way or another. You know, we're along for the ride, and it's not always going to be exciting, but exciting stuff is going to happen.
Yep.
One Piece, oh shit, I haven't even begun to watch that, and I don't think I ever will, because that is just too much to try to catch up on. One Piece is like, what, 900 episodes deep or something like that now? 950?
Okay, I want to talk to you about something. So me and Buddy were concepting a Christmas episode, and I wanted to go deep. And because I told you I lost a friend. It was a suicide last week, and I put that out on Facebook. I think I put it on my Twitter too.
I saw it on Twitter, yeah.
And because of lockdowns, because of whatever, I want to push positivity as fucking hard as I can with everybody. And the idea is about how important social networks are now, or social community, more so, not networks. How do we do that really, really well, but say between New Year's, Christmas, and get it out there?
I think forcing it would come off as kind of insincere. Organic.
It's organic, but how would I put together the topics and have some actual good notes about how, if you're having a shitty day, or whoever's having a shitty day, how much it matters to be part of Geeks and Gamers, Fandom Menace, Comicsgate, whoever your personal choice, to be able to talk, to get into streams. I don't mean just by no means this stream. I mean whatever stream, because I think it gives a lot of people a lot of hope, love, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's what's like drawing me to a lot of different circles regarding online stuff. It's the reason I got on with Piper, Fizgiggity over on her Wednesday night streams, the F It Show. Yeah. It's the camaraderie there. It's the positivity that she expressed in that show. She does what we kind of do here in the second half of our Mandalorian streams. Is like, we're having a couple of drinks. We're just talking random shit about random subjects, having a good time, trying not to get down on stuff. When politics gets introduced to the conversation, we try to steer it away from that, because that ends up being a whole bunch of bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
It's about having fun, talking about our comics, and like random little, like, oh, my character can beat up your character conversations, or hey, this other campaign's getting really close, let's take a look at that really quick. We generally don't try to shill, but there's shilling that happens.
Yeah, I mean, in fact, that's one right there. I've been trying actively. I don't shill. We've done it once or twice, but I want to build it first, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. I shill for campaigns that I think really need the focus on it, like Ryan Hawk's Bric-a-Brac really needed it there right before his closed out.
Yep.
And Comicsgate came together and did it. You know, they got his book funded, so we will see a bric-a-brac too.
Yep. So the way I want to roll is a little different. I want to build this a bit more, because shilling to 4 people is not going to sell something.
Oh, no.
But hey, I mean, on a rewatch, like I'm getting 200-300 things. I'm getting really good interaction, but I don't want to be here as a salesman. I want to be here as a like someone said earlier, it's kind of like being at the pub. It's like, so I want to be down at the pub. So
a note of geekdom.
Yep.
You know,
Exactly.
just where all the different geekdoms come together. Both of us are Comicsgate and Fandom Menace, and I'm Weeb Wars as well. You know.
Yep.
You know, I don't know what your direction is on that. We haven't really talked about it with respect to you, but
absolutely. I think a real big intro to here for me was being on board with Nick Rekieta and doing some stuff with him as well. So
the Vic Mignogna stuff.
Yep, that's a big crossover.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be too hard to find that audience as well.
Oh, speaking of original Star Trek, have you seen Vic Mignogna's Star Trek Continues?
Holy shit! Yes, all of it.
It is on YouTube right now. Everybody, after the stream's over, I suggest you go check it out. You bookmark it for watch later. It is called Star Trek Continues, and it is Vic Mignogna basically takes where the original series of Star Trek went for 3 seasons, and it was supposed to be a 5-year mission. He puts out a series of episodes that finish out that 5-year mission.
Yes.
And he does it so well that for me, it is headcanon. Like, seriously, he did an amazing job with this. So much so, the original Scotty's son plays Scotty in this series.
Yep. James
Doohan's kid.
I know. And then thanks again for bringing that up. That's I don't know if I can I show that without an auto strike?
I wouldn't take the chance this time around. I didn't think ERB would do anything like that, and they did. I wouldn't take the chance at this point.
Yep. Here is, as I type it.
I mean, showing stills of it up on screen, I think that'd be fine, but I would say not play anything.
Okay, 1 second. And then, dude, and that goes right back to Axanar and then Rob stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This community is...
I was so hyped for Axanar. I can't believe they did the cease and desist on that.
Here's a link. It's amazing. : paste. And I'm going to put the... So yeah, Weeb Wars. Let's talk about that next time. Maybe that's what we do next Thursday. And then I think I'm going to shut her down soon.
Okay.
Or, I mean, we... Like, here. Okay, wait. Stills, yes. This is Vic Mignogna as Captain Kirk. It is so... The fidelity to the original thing in every way. And don't get me started on, like, Axanar.
And that's Apollo. That is the guy who originally played Apollo in the original series.
I know, right? I mean, everything is... Oh, and shit.
Grant Imahara as Sulu, yeah.
That's great. Yeah. And
R.I.P. Grant, yeah.
Yes, he just passed away a couple months ago. I've met him a couple times via Adam Savage, who I met a couple times, which is pretty neat people, to say the least.
I love his one-day builds.
Yep.
Mackenzie.
Yep.
This series introduced the idea of a ship's counselor, and that redhead that you just saw on screen, she's the prototype for ship counselor. And there's a lot that happens around her. And there's a lot that happens around her without her being a Mary Sue, too. Without her being this like crazy self-insert type character that, doesn't have any problems doing anything. You know, she's very actively a crew member. Stuff happens to her. Stuff happens around her.
Yep.
You know, she has
And-
flaws as well.
See, I love this so much. This is not even trying to be William Shatner. This is Vic Mignogna being Vic Mignogna,
Mhm.
but he embodies it so damn well. Yeah, everything is
Yeah,
just
the effects from outside the ship just scream TOS. And I'm not going to throw any spoilers, but I guarantee you the final episode of the series, like number one, it confirms a lot of suspicions we had regarding the technology around Star Trek. There's a really cool scene where he's talking to an admiral, and behind her there's a billboard that, not a billboard, but kind of an L cars that shows like the active Constitution class ships that are out there and like what their status is. And yeah,
Yep.
I would pause this frame to frame to see what was going on in it. Like I said, this series has become my headcanon for the last couple of years of the 5-year mission.
exactly. Okay, so we've done 2 45 minutes, 2 hour 45 minutes. I think this has been amazing, and I want to thank everybody who is here listening. I especially want to thank Buddy the Dinosaur, who had to go to work, which is admirable. And of course, you, Michael.
Thank you, sir.
And
And
stick
you as
around.
well for hosting us all. You know,
No, we got a ways to go. But everybody come back, give it a like, give it a sub, and have an awesome day.